Gilpin, is that is something that I have mentioned in past games, is that we would like to see him throw the ball away when he doesn't see anything downfield. And while it's 2nd and long, this will work out well for the Pirates. In 2nd and long, they have a full receiver set, trips up left. And Gilpin, he's going to run the option. There's the pitch to Marion, but he'll be tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a massive loss. And now the Pirates in trouble as it's a mandatory 3rd and long. And they're looking to get beyond the 35 to the 36 here on their opening drive. No score, as this is just the first possession for the Pirates offense.
Okay, we got the audio working now. It's 3rd and long, about 18. Gilpin drops back, tucks the ball to run, and gets back to the original line of scrimmage. He's going to get wrapped up and tackled right around there by number 24, Niall Pollard.
Well, I understand exactly what they were just trying to do, get their backs up and off of the wall to provide some room for this punt. But you always have to remember that the Pirates now know that there's only one more game to go this season. We've already seen the fake punts earlier in the year. Do you think this is a time that we might see it against a TLU team that is almost on equal footing with the Pirates this season?
Yeah, I think it's a little early to bring out the fake punt on your end of the field, but the Pirates could surprise us, that's for sure. Will Earpston to punt. He'll get his foot into it. He gets a nice punt. It carries all the way to the Bulldog 30, dropped by the returner 15. He's able to scoop it up and spin out of a tackle over the 35 to about the 37, where they'll have a 1st and 10.
Ended up being a really nice return, all things considered, as it could have ended really bad.
Well, and you have to think that Herbst almost kind of outkicked his coverage there, as he got a nice boot into it, and it sent the returner back a good 10 or 12 yards so that he could make the play.
Color schemes are still throwing me off just a little bit.
Yeah,
all this black and
it's
gold.
going to be hard. Bulldogs come out in a kind of an offset pistol eye type formation. Cosme, the quarterback, he'll take a snap and fake to the fullback, and they all move that direction with an option look. There quickly with the stop for the Pirates is going to be number 94, Jason Lund.
Yeah, Cosme, he doesn't have a whole lot of rushing yards, obviously, with having to take some of those sacks, but he does have 277 yards rushing coming into this contest. He's a competent passer as well, as he completes almost near 60% of his passes coming into this game.
He'll take it straight ahead, following the running backs off the right side on 2nd down to pick up just a couple of yards.
Last week, the Pirates were a little slow to start, even defensively, as they gave up the big play in that game. But once they settled in, they were very difficult to run against, and Austin College found out the hard way, especially in the second half.
Yeah, Alec Gomez came up and made that stop. Cosme takes a snap, and he'll have to pitch to the tailback, who cuts up at the midfield stripe and into Pirate territory for a 1st down, and that's number 34 for the Bulldogs, DeCorey Willis, and he's wrapped up by number 7 of the Pirates, and that, of course, is Peyton Vaughn.
The one thing that you might not have seen was that the quarterback already wrapped up and took a big hit, and that's something that added up last week against Austin College quarterback in James.
Sure did affect Tyler James's play. Cosme drops back and has a man streaking down the sideline, the tight end wide open for the reception, number 88. That is Aaron Sotelo, and he'll have a 1st down for the Bulldogs inside the red zone at the 19.
Yeah, this Pirate defense likes to go man-to-man on the edges, but when you get that overload, you have to make sure you're on your assignments, and we saw that there was just too much space given.
Cosme will follow the fullback. He has an opening, and he gets real close to the 1st down near the 10 before he's stopped by Alec Gomez. It's going to be 2nd and short.
But you know, Casey, admittedly, Chuck, admittedly, this is the first time I've really seen the Pirates have to go against an option-heavy offense, and you can see that they're trying to make the adjustments on the fly.
Well, even if you run option a lot, you don't tend to scrimmage your starting offense. Is usually a scout offense, and they're going to hand to Willis on a sweep to the right side, and he's going to get stopped right at the goal line, stopped just shy of scoring a touchdown. He'll pick up a first down, and it'll be first and goal for the Pirates. Not the Pirates, I'm sorry, the first and goal for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, color check right there, right? Those uniforms.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just going to try to bull it in. And it doesn't look like they got there.
Yeah, good job by the middle there of the Southwestern University. It's going to be second down and goal here. It's going to be second and goal, 10-10 remaining here in the first period. Under center is Cosme, has 3 running backs. He'll drop straight back, kind of an option look, pitches out to Willis on the edge, and he's going to punch it in. Looked like the Pirates had an opportunity there to prevent him from crossing the goal line, but he was able to take it across for an early Bulldog lead, 6-0.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they got downfield and into that position on the goal line, you know it was going to take something special to really make a stand here on the opening drive. But we did see this again against Austin College last week, and then after that, the Pirate defense was basically impenetrable at that point. So I'm not too concerned just yet.
Point after attempt is up, and it is good from Juan Ocampo to extend the lead by the Bulldogs to 7-0 over the Pirates. We're going to go on ahead and stay here with the broadcast. We will probably take a break. We have a little bit of abbreviated crew. Richard Hensley, who typically runs production for our ball games, is in Oregon. It's senior night for his senior who plays for Lewis and Clark, the Pioneers. So he needed to be there for his family. We understand that.
Do miss him, though.
Yes, definitely miss him. We wouldn't have probably had that audio issue at the very beginning of the game if it wasn't for me being in charge of audio as well. So, but we'll work through it here, and fortunately we got it resolved pretty quickly, and Pirates will get the football a second time here. They did not have much success in their opening drive. We'll see if they can muster some first downs and move the ball down the field here, give their defense a little bit of rest as well. Coming out to kickoff for the Bulldogs is Juan Ocampo. Back deep for the Pirates is going to be Austin Castilleja and Eli Norris. Also Jeremiah Richardson and a couple other Pirates for that short pooch kick right around the 20.
Yeah, Ocampo, a All-American kicker. One of the best in the business.
And it will be Jeremiah Richardson fielding it at the 19. He follows a block up over the 25 near the 30, where he's going to get wrapped up by number 33, Nelson Coleman.
Okay, so it wasn't the best of opening drives for the Pirates as it was a 3-and-out, but that was something that they had success on last week, was limiting those 3-and-outs, being able to extend drives, and they were able to utilize the running game last week. We'll see if maybe they try to keep the ball on the ground just a little bit more and maybe hand off to Quan Marion here.
Yeah, Quan would be a good way to get the rhythm going for the offense. He's the running back beside Gilpin, and they'll hand to him on a counter, and he'll pick his way up over the 30, 35, and spins towards the 37 before he's wrapped up. Pretty nice gain there on first down. The tackle made by 21, Robert Ramirez. It's going to bring up second and about 3 yards for the Pirates.
Pirates had a lot of success last week without counter play. You just saw right now, and Marion, he has such great vision in the backfield, able to find those lanes with the patience, but has that burst of speed and that running power.
They're going to hand this one to Joey Robinson, the H-back, on that left side, and just not much there as the Bulldog defense strings it out. Credit number 4, Anthony Jackson, leading the charge there. It's going to be third down, no gain on the play. In fact, he may have even lost a yard. We'll leave it at 3rd and 3 here for the Southwestern Pirates.
That's what they have on the big scoreboard here at Bulldog Stadium, but that's his first carry I've seen all year.
Quan Marion, the running back, they'll fake to him. Real quick pass by Gilpin to Castilleja. He'll pick up the first down over the 45, and he struggles near midfield. They're going to have him wrapped up around the 47. That's number 44 making the stop in Ocho for the Bulldogs.
Austin Castilleja, he had 2 touchdowns in the first half last week. And it's good to see that him and Gilpin are hooking up early in this match.
We have a 1st and 10 Pirates now. Ball marked at the 47. Empty set for Gilpin. 3 receivers top of the formation. Ball rolls back from the center. He's able to scoop it up, has to roll to the left, and flings it complete to Aiden Huerta, who had worked his way back down the sideline close to the sticks there where the line of scrimmage was, and he's able to turn around, pick up 4 or 5 yards.
Hey, making something out of nothing. That's what Gilpin does best. Credit Huerta to come back. They have a little bit of that ESP as they were on the same wavelength.
Yeah, they got to be able to communicate with one another. Quan Marion, the running back. Gilpin takes the snap, fakes the direction of Marion, cuts back the other way, and he's going to dive close to the first down. It looks like he's going to be short of it by about a yard. So it's going to be 3rd and 1. And 3rd and manageable, that's where you want to be on 3rd downs if you're the Pirates here today.
Especially if you're the Pirates because of the quarterback in Landry Gilpin. You put him out of the pocket on a play-action pass, he is instantaneous trouble for any defense in the league.
Yeah, he can easily pick up one of those 3rd and shorts if you get him out in space. Quan Marion, the running back beside him, they're going to hand to Marion. Marion starts to his right and spins to his left. He's going to be dragged down real close. It's going to depend on the spot. Number 99 there, Colton Mattis. So it's either going to be 4th down or it is going to be 4th and 1. It looked like they didn't give him much, if any, of a gain there, and the Pirates have a decision here. 4th and short, ball in Bulldog territory. It's a likely go for it, and that's what we're seeing here as the Pirates come out in a pistol formation. 2 receivers here on the near side. Gilpin looks over, takes a snap, follows Quan Marion straight ahead, and he's going to pick up the first. Although there's a lot of celebration from the TLU Bulldogs side of the field, and maybe my angle's just not good, but it looked like he picked it up to me.
No, he's short.
By about a half of a football, it looks like. The ball will go over on downs to the Bulldogs.
He needed to have been able to get to the 43, and he ended up in between the 44.
That's not more than about
and the
4 or 5 inches shy of the line needed.
It was about half the size of the sneaker of the official who placed down the ball. That's how far away. When they say this is a game of inches, I know it's a cliche, but it's because it's true.
It could be left foot, right foot also. It's hard to say. Cosme takes the snap, hands off to the H-back on the right side. He meets a Nick Hackett and a whole bunch of other Pirates. And that is the H-back is Aaron Sotelo.
Now, while they weren't able to get anything scoring-wise out of that last drive, what that did allow the Pirates to do is allow their defense to try to make some adjustments after letting up the score on the first series and get some rest as they tried to defend this option-heavy attack from Texas Lutheran.
2nd and 7. Cosme drops back, hits the receiver on a kind of a square in there. It's going to be dropped shy of the line needed for a first down. That receiver was number 19, McKenzie. Oh, they will give him a first down.
Yeah, we are here at Bulldog Stadium in Seguin, so I expect some
that half
generous.
of football doesn't apply when they have it. Pistol formation, H-back to the right of Cosme. They'll hand off to the running back, number 23, straight ahead, Caleb Cervanki, and he runs into a big wall of Pirates led by number 93 of that defensive line, John Guerrero. 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, so one thing I'm looking for here from the Pirates is that defensive line. Once they get shored up, it can be a hard afternoon for TLU, but it's that defensive line that needs to win the battle of attack.
Cosme takes a snap, rolls to his right. Looks like it was an option look, and he hits an open receiver on the seam, and he's going to take it in for the score. That's number 18, Trent Stefka, on that reception as they kind of set the Pirates up with an option look, an option look, an option look, and instead of continuing down the line with that option look, he pulls up and throws a quick pass to the tight end who released.
Oh, it was perfectly set up by the offensive coordinator for the Bulldogs. Like you just mentioned, he was setting the pattern, and as soon as the pattern didn't hit, the safety bit, though. The man who was supposed to be covering deep, he came up to defend that run, and when the quarterback saw that, he let it loose, and there was no one back there to stop that big play from happening. Give credit where credit is due, but the Pirates need to make some adjustments now because you don't want to get down any further than these two scores here in the first quarter of play.
Well, the point after attempt was good by the Texas Lutheran Bulldogs, and the score now 14-0 with 4:59 remaining here in the first quarter. Pirates getting ready to receive the football for the third time this afternoon. First drive, they were 3 and out. Second drive, they moved the ball into Bulldog territory before they had to punt it away. And here we are with our third drive.
You remember last week, the Pirates, they were fortunate in some cases that Austin College wasn't able to convert in some instances when they were clearly had a wide open field to work with, or they had a first down. All they had to do was make the catch. And they missed some point after touchdowns as well last week, did Austin College. They will not benefit from that this week, especially with Ocampo, an All-American kicker. He's pretty much perfect from his PATs, and he's only missed one field goal last season. So the Pirates need to play as close to perfect football from here on out that they can, because they're going to need every single thing that they can generate to go their way.
So Ocampo here to kick off, and he pooches it, and it's in live ball territory, and there's a collision. Ball still on the ground, and it's out of bounds.
And you heard the audible groan from the fans here. That was an awful collision.
Big collision as the returner was trying to scoop the ball up as he got hit, and I believe that was Richardson. And there's a discussion amongst the referees about possession of the football. And, of course, it's not helpful that the TLU Bulldog bench is gathered right near the referees and are trying to encourage a positive call for their squad.
I don't understand.
The ball was legally touched inbounds by the receiving team, and therefore there's no penalty for kick out of bounds. First down, Southwestern.
So it will be Pirate football, as they did touch the ball, but the ball did go out of bounds. So obviously a kick out of bounds without the receiving team touching it is a penalty, and you can also make them re-kick as opposed to taking that 5 yards. Doesn't apply here. First and 10 Pirates.
No, either way it was going to be Pirates football in one regard or another. Let's see if they can utilize the good field, though.
Brandon Jennings, the running back, beside Landry Gilpin. 3 receivers on the wide side of the formation. Gilpin takes a snap. He looks that direction. He passes to Castilleja, who picks up a block. He'll carry it up over the 45 to the 46 before he's dragged down by number 25, Sultan Abdullah.
This is something that was successful for the Pirates last week, as well as these timing patterns, those quick 3-step drops to the flats on the outside. Those were money for Southwestern last week. Hopefully they can keep up the rhythm that we just witnessed a moment ago.
So Gilpin with Jennings. He'll take the snap and follow Jennings. Off his block, will cut near midfield, and he gets lifted into the air by the defender. There were whistles being blown, and there's a lot of impassioned play going on here early in this ball game. It's now third down and about a yard for Southwestern.
Well, Southwestern needs to match that passionate level of TLU. It's senior day. This is their final home game, and you know it's personal, especially for the seniors.
Quan Marion back in at running back beside Gilpin. We have a whistle, and we're going to have a timeout, Southwestern University. And we'll mention our sponsors during this timeout. They are Antioch Georgetown, Chapel Realty Group with Roger Chappell, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Groove Line Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press, Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions with Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners with Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. 3rd and 1 for the Pirates here as we come out of timeout. Gilpin with Quan Marion. They have an option look to the left, and Gilpin just cuts it up over midfield to about the 44-yard line, pick up the first down for the Pirates.
Great read by Gilpin. He saw that the defense extended the play wide, so he cut it up. Good play by the offensive line to make sure that the lane was there for him.
Yeah, he saw an opening, and as we mentioned on those 3rd and shorts, you just get Gilpin going one way or another, and he's got good vision. He knows what he needs to get to pick up that first down. He also has the legs to do it. Quan Marion, the running back beside Gilpin. We got 3 receivers here on the near side of the formation. Gilpin rolls to his right and flips it out of bounds with too much pressure from that Bulldog defense. Leading the way, number 95, Montre Smith, also there. Number 56 for the Bulldogs, and that's Herberto Salinas.
Hey, you'll take that from Gilpin, though. Notice that nothing was open downfield. Just toss it away. You got another 3 downs that you can possibly work with here on 2nd down coming up.
And it's better than trying to force one into a small window and result that into an interception. So
especially when your team is down 14-0.
2nd down and 10 for Southwestern. They'll hand to Quan Marion. He'll break a tackle at the line of scrimmage, lowers his shoulder as he gets into the secondary. He's going to pick up about 9, maybe 10 yards. We'll see here. It is a first down for the Pirates.
Masterful run by Quan Marion. As you saw, he should have been hit for only about a 2-yard gain, but was able to knock off one would-be tackler, dance around another outstretched arm, and then picked up the first down. Great run by him.
Yeah, he knows when to put that cleat in the turf and get upfield, and he did it there. 2 receivers on the far side of the formation. Quan Marion, the running back. Gilpin will hand to Marion on a counter, and he'll run by a defender but meet another for a loss in the backfield, number 92, Christian Monroe.
Yeah, unfortunately, the tackle got beat on that play, and he ended up almost running into Marion. He had to avoid his own offensive lineman. So a rare loss for Jaquan.
Yeah, it's going to be 2nd and 13. That's generally when you're going to get him for a loss is when you get him before he really gets any forward momentum going.
But you know, Chuck, too many 2nd and longs today so far for the Pirates.
2nd and 13, Gilpin drops straight back. Pressure again, rolls to his right. Looking downfield, he throws it way downfield for Castilleja. 2 defenders bracketed him, and Castilleja made a very athletic attempt at that football, but unable to haul it in. It's going to be 3rd down.
He got there at the apex of the throw. So did the other 2 defenders. Great ball by Gilpin, though. He was on the run. He almost flung it across his body like a javelin, and he was able to put it right where it needed to be to give his receiver a chance to make a play.
You've said it before. He tends to be a little more accurate on the run. 5 receivers here, empty set. Gilpin drops straight back, forced up into the pocket. He'll wing it downfield. Almost completed to Huerta and then almost intercepted as Huerta tipped it a couple of times, and Abdullah almost took it the other direction off of one of those tips. So it's 4th down now, and the Pirates will bring out the punting unit.
Maybe you can say that Gilpin could have took a little zip off of the pass, but at the same time, Huerta's going over the middle. He had it in his hands, and you know how it goes.
You got to catch it.
If you touched it twice, you got to haul that in. Help out your quarterback, especially when your offense hasn't been clicking so far this afternoon.
Dimitri Zavala back deep to receive this punt from Will Herbst, and he'll indicate like he's going to catch it. It's going to bounce out of bounds. It's a nice little coffin corner kick from Will Herbst, but is there a penalty down or something?
Well, there's definitely some
there was
discussion.
Some extra whistles going on post-play. I don't see any flags at the moment, but that kick.
There's 3 flags actually down over here on the line.
Oh, way
right where
back.
It went out of play.
Illegal substitution. Receiving team, 12 men on the field.
Well, that is a penalty.
Those plays, first down.
Obviously, the Pirates will decline that too many men on the field penalty. As nice little wedge shot from Will Herbst. He knocks it right in the corner.
If he isn't in the discussion for, punter of the year or special teamer of the year in the conference, I don't know what it's going to take, because some of those punts have been miraculous this year, just like the one we just saw.
If the voting panel is being honest and they're reviewing all the information, he's certainly in consideration for an award
at least
similar
first team,
to that.
Second team, something there. But he's been excellent this year.
So they'll have two running backs with Cosme, the H-back, number 88, Sotelo, and number 34, the tailback, Wills.
And as we've seen, everything pretty much has
Willis.
been predicated off of this option.
They'll hand to Willis straight ahead, and he gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Bernard Century and Nick Hackett. Dr. Hackett combining with future Dr. Bernard Century.
Good to see that Dr. Hackett is still making some calls after Halloween here.
Yeah. Second down, a gain of about 1 on that play. Maybe 1.5.
It's exactly what we need, though, for the Pirates, is this defense to really step up and make things difficult for the offense of TLU.
So Cosme with Sotelo and Willis in the backfield for the Bulldogs.
Got a lot of space here on the near side.
And they'll hand to Sotelo, and he gets tripped up by Nick Hackett and Alec Gomez for minimal gain. He just kind of lunged forward for a couple of yards there. It's going to be third and about 5.5, maybe 6 yards.
This is where the Pirates' deep safety needs to be aware that an option pass might be in the cards. So if he does see the option play coming, that he cannot come and just run at the quarterback.
Cosme will fake the handoff to the H-back. He'll pitch to Willis, and he's going to get wrapped up almost immediately upon receiving that pitch. And that's number 11 for Southwestern, Peyton Ludeman, making the stop prior to the line to gain for the first down. So it's 4th and 1, deep in their own territory. The Bulldogs likely are going to punt here.
Surprisingly safe play calling from TLU, not taking too many risks there, keeping everything within the option on the ground. I'm surprised that they didn't elect to try at least take a chance downfield on 3rd down.
With the back against the goal line might have been in play with that decision. Cameron Welch to kick for the Bulldogs. Back deep is going to be Austin Castilleja, and we have a whistle and a stoppage. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. So we'll stay here with the broadcast and move to the second quarter, where it'll be 4th and 1 for the Bulldogs. We mentioned our sponsors moments ago, and I just want to thank those sponsors for their commitment to Southwestern University football, as well as the Southwestern University football commitment to the Georgetown community. It's created a bit of a synergy around this program, and if you're able or have a need for any of the service or products offered by those sponsors, I encourage you to go out and spend your money with those guys as they reinvest it in the community.
Exactly. Support the community that supports your community.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Said in a much more concise way. Thank you there, Justin.
That's what they pay me for.
It's almost an editor-style response there. So it looks like Castilleja is going to set up right on the Bulldog emblem near one of the ears in Southwestern territory around the 45.
When they send the rush, this Pirate defense or the special teams unit does get a good brush on kicks.
And so Welch's punt goes high and straight up. Castilleja has to come all the way into Bulldog territory at the 39 to fair catch it.
That's excellent field position to work with, and we just talked about that rush on special teams. When they send the unit, they get good pressure, and they almost got a piece of that football. We've already seen a couple of blocks this season.
Yeah, there's a little bit of wind today. It's not a significant amount, but it's mostly blowing across the field. So I don't really see how that would have been in much play there. It was just a high kick.
Oh, he was just trying to boot it away as good as possible.
So we had a 1st and 10 for the Pirates. Brandon Jennings, the running back, beside Gilpin. Gilpin takes the snap, turns, and throws to Eric Ovalle, complete on the Ovalle at the 40, and he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. 2nd down.
And it looks like TLU really concentrated heavy on the Austin College game. I will admit a lot of this play style and the play calling has been similar to that first half, and they have pretty much picked it up from the get-go, reading this Pirate offense.
Well, and we talked with Coach a little bit about TLU at the SU Football Weekly on Monday, and he did mention that the defense and offense for the Bulldogs have been performing very well over the last couple of weeks. We're seeing that production today. 2nd and 10, 2 backs with Gilpin. Gilpin will hand to Quan Marion. He has the edge, 35. He'll cut up near the 30 on the outside where he's wrapped up by number 16, Eugene Robinson, shy of the line needed for the first down by about 1 yard. So 3rd and manageable again for the Pirates.
Definitely manageable, but I just say if Quan's staying on the field, feed him again. Try to get this rhythm built for the offensive line and for him. He had great success last week, having 87 yards, near 100 on his 14 attempts. I like his running ability, especially near the red zone.
Also had a pretty good outing on the reception. Gilpin fakes like he's going to run with Marion for the option, then cuts straight up the field for a first down.
That will also do.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to what we were saying earlier. You have it 3rd and short, get it in Gilpin's hands, and let him move laterally and see where he can make a play with his feet, his arm, his vision. So 1st and 10 for the Pirates here as they break the huddle. Quan Marion lines up to the left of Landry Gilpin, 2 receivers either side of the formation. Gilpin will drop straight back and flip it out to Marion in the flat. Marion cuts up at the 29, and he meets a whole pack of Bulldogs right around the 26-yard line, so a gain of about a yard.
Is it a pack?
I believe it's a pack
not a
of
row.
canines. I'm not sure. I know it's a pack
It's not
of
a mob.
wolves. No, that's the Kangaroos.
We've learned a lot this year.
Well, and why not? You know.
You should always be learning, though.
That's right, and it could be helpful if you ever find yourself in a Trivial Pursuit game of some kind. 3 receivers top of the formation for Gilpin. Quan Marion, the running back. He'll take the snap. Gilpin roll to his right, stops his rollout, throws deep down the right sideline. Pass is intercepted at the 1 yard. No, they're going to say he fell into the end zone for a touchback. So it will be Bulldog football on that delivery from Landry Gilpin right around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I can see what he was going for there. It was a timing pattern. He was trying to hook up with his receiver right on the turn, but it was just well read. The double coverage was there the entire way, unless he was trying to reach the receiver that was hitting the far flag route, going towards the far side cone, who was open in the back. That could be a possibility, but I don't think
that
that's
one too short.
Yeah, but I don't think that's where he was going, though.
It looked like a similar attempt as earlier to Costilleja, but again, 2 defenders, one able to get up over the other 2 players and get the interception. Cosme will take the snap for the Bulldogs, and they'll hand off to the tailback straight ahead for a gain of about 3 or 4. That's number 22, Jacob Fortin. And they're going to give him a gain of 4, so it's going to be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, right now the Pirate offense slowed to click here in this first half of play. Last week, Gilpin had 4 touchdown throws for that game. So far, nothing with 1 interception.
Cosme takes the snap. He's going to hand off straight ahead to the H-back, and he'll get tripped up in the backfield by number 90 of the Pirates, Noah Clarkson. No gain, maybe even a loss of 1 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down.
And good tackle by Clarkson in the back. Now the Pirates need to hold here on this third and medium situation, I would say.
That ball carrier was Aaron Sotelo, and he's in the backfield with Cosme and number 22, Fortin. Bulldogs have 2 receivers here on the near side, 1 on the far side of the formation. 3rd and 7. Cosme will hand to Sotelo coming to the near side, and he's going to get wrapped up quickly by Jason Lund at number 94. Also there, Noah Clarkson, number 90. And so it'll be 4th down for the Bulldogs once again. And second possession in a row, the Pirate defense forces a punting situation. And as you mentioned, Justin, just like last week, a little rocky start for the defense in the opening possession, yet they're showing up here.
Yeah, now they've settled into this game. Give a lot of credit to Jacob Lund, who was not only able to extend that play so he couldn't go north and south, but also made the tackle. Great stuff by the end.
Welch's kick is high. Costilleja going back. He fields it at the 25 and runs backwards to the 20 as he's trying to move laterally across the field, and he'll get wrapped up and taken down by McKenzie at around the 21. It's going to depend on the spot.
Yeah, right now.
4th possession for the Pirates regardless.
Just nothing offensively wise, even special teams offensively has just been going right. Now, the Pirates have been having their moments offensively. They've connected. They just kind of similar to what we've seen earlier in the season, just not being able to finish.
Well, we got a little bit of spoiling going on last week with 4 consecutive touchdown drives by the Pirate offense. Gilpin will take the snap on this play. He'll tuck it, be forced to run to the right. He's over the 25-30, and he'll step out of bounds after picking up the first down.
Good awareness by Gilpin, as he saw that there was so much space to work with in the open field right in the middle, and just utilize that open space.
They're going to give him the 34-yard line on that gain.
He went for over the century mark, both passing and running last week.
Been producing quite a bit of yardage. He's got 5 receivers for this formation. Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back over the middle, hits number 84 for the Pirates, and that, of course, Ethan Powell for a first down into Bulldog territory at the 48.
And when you see it hit like that, you just wonder sometimes, why can't it be like that every single time? Just a simple pitch and catch, everybody in the right flow for the offense.
Well, there could have been a coverage breakdown. Ethan Powell was pretty open on that play. We have 5 receivers again for Gilpin on the empty set formation. He'll drop straight back, spins back the other way, and he'll flip it out of bounds just to avoid any loss on a sack there. Intelligent play by the quarterback. He started rolling to the near side here and was cut off, had to roll back to the far side of the field, and as he moved that way, he saw more defenders and just had to get rid of it.
Well, the Bulldogs did send the blitz, and the blitz ended up being too overbearing, so it was quick in Gilpin's face, so just making the best out of the situation. But that leaves them with 2nd and long, and that's been a struggle for them here this afternoon.
5 receivers, same formation. Gilpin drops straight back. His pass will be complete on the sideline to Austin Costilleja for a gain of about 4. It's going to make it 3rd and 6 for the Pirates. Obviously, could be 2-down territory here in the Bulldog side of the field.
Well, Quan is coming back out. So if you have him, I say utilize him. Try to get him open on some sort of flag route out of the flats.
Run a wheel route or something.
Exactly where I was trying to get at.
3 receivers near side of the formation. Marion, the running back. There's the snap. He'll fake to Marion, drop straight back. Pressure. Gilpin has to twist back towards the near side. He'll flip it to Marion. Marion's at the 45-40. He'll have the first down at the 35 before he's forced out of bounds by number 25. That is Sultan Abdullah. But again, first down Pirates.
Well, looks like he took out one of the coach's kids. He looks to be okay, thankfully, but yeah, slid right into, and that's why you have to be aware when you're on the sidelines. But great sportsmanship there shown by Marion to help the kid right back up after making a huge play.
Kind-hearted running back. He doesn't seem that way when he's lowering his shoulder into a defender, but very soft-spoken, intelligent kid. Gilpin with the snap, drops straight back, goes down the left sideline as he spins it towards Huerta. Oh, Huerta off his fingertips as he crossed the goal line. The pass maybe about 6 inches too far downfield.
But unfortunately for him, that's drop number 2 of the day. And again, in a similar situation where it does hit his hands and wasn't able to haul it in. That was a good ball delivered by Gilpin as it was up and over the defense. Huerta had the step on the defender. It couldn't have been drawn up any better. The Pirates just have to execute.
Well, they'll come out here 2nd and 10 in the empty set again. Gilpin will take the snap, drop straight back, gets decent pressure on the right side, has to step up, rolls to his right, pass behind Austin Costilleja. Otherwise, that's a first down Pirates.
Yeah, that one
Instead,
on Gilpin.
it's 3rd and 10.
And I think even he would be the first one to tell Costilleja when he gets back to the huddle, that one on me, man. And it's just because we said it before, he's rather accurate on the run, just that time putting it behind the receiver. If he was able to put it a little bit closer towards the out-of-bounds area, it would have hit Costilleja in stride and allowed him to do his thing.
So the Pirates break huddle, 3rd and 10, ball at the 33-yard line. Quan Marion to the right of Landry Gilpin. 3 receivers on the wide side of the formation. Gilpin takes the snap, rolls that direction. Looking downfield, pointing. Will spin it downfield. Costilleja in the corner. Had it in his hands, but unable to hang on there for what would have likely been a touchdown pass.
Oh, I love it when Gilpin starts doing the John Moxley thing where it's very Hollywood-esque, where he rolls out and starts pointing downfield and trying to direct his wide receivers. And that time it almost worked out. But again, his wide receivers are just not helping him out right now, not coming up with these really great passes that he's delivering.
And they're going to come out on 4th and 10 and go for it. And you mentioned that. He did that last week against Austin College and hit Ethan Powell for a touchdown pass. We'll see what happens here in the empty set. Gilpin rolls to his right, spins it, and the receiver gets knocked down before the ball gets there. The delivery of the ball is behind him anyway, and referee will likely say that was uncatchable and no flag tossed. And possession will go over to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you can see it was meant to be a timing route to that specific receiver on the outside. He gets banged up. The referee, well, it's a 50-50. He says it's inconsequential.
Uncatchable.
And it's uncatchable as well, right, because it was already straight away out of play. And that's just a tough break. Again, I mean, Gilpin delivered some terrific balls there. Very catchable footballs for his receivers that just didn't come up with the big play.
Cosme moving to the left after receiving the snap, looking like a little option look with Willis, the pitch back, but Cosme tries to cut it up, nothing there. Maybe a half-yard gain. Looks like Hanneth on the tackle.
Yeah, laying down the hammer in there. If that wasn't going to wake up Cosme now for this game, he should be well alert after that hit.
Cosby, Sotelo, and Willis in the backfield for the Bulldogs. Cosme, little RPO look, tries to hit the open receiver who was just briefly open. That's number 18, Stefka, but there quickly to close the distance was Peyton Ludeman, as well as number 31, Jamarcus Ross.
Yeah, you like seeing this from the Pirate defense, though. They've settled into this ball game. Texas Lutheran, those yards have been hard to come by here in the second quarter after getting back-to-back touchdowns on their opening 2 drives.
3rd down and 9 for Cosme and the Bulldogs. He'll take the snap, move to his right, and they got a reverse look to number 11 on the essentially end around, and that was Roland Bland, but the Pirates read that quickly, and he may have gained 1 yard, and there were 5 or 6 Pirates there to make the stop.
Oh, Pirates brought the whole crew with them. They were not fooled by the fake. That shows great discipline. Good job by the defensive coordinator, especially during those moments in practice. You can tell that's something that they worked on, staying at home, being disciplined, and it paid off on that last play. And
for the 3rd consecutive possession, the Pirate defense has forced the Bulldogs into a punting situation here, and I believe they're all 3 and outs. Back deep to receive will be Austin Costilleja. Kicking is Cameron Welch. He'll get a nice kickoff. Costilleja will field it at the 20, move to his right, cut up at the 25 as he's spinning, and there's a flag comes flying in from the sideline. Could have been a face mask. it's really hard to see if it's a flag or not because a lot of the Bulldog, and it is a flag, but a lot of the Bulldog players have yellow shoes on, which make it look like a flag is on the ground. It is a face mask.
All right, so something breaking in the way for the Pirates here in this game. You know, that is one thing I can give credit for so far in this first half. They haven't had any detrimental penalties. They just have been unable to convert on first down. And that has put them into second and long situations where it's been hit or miss on keeping those drives alive.
Yeah, you want to try to stay ahead of the chains as best you can, and that means a decent gain on first down. Empty set, they'll bring Huerta in motion. Gilpin drops straight back and flips it out to Huerta. The ball got tipped by number 59 of the Bulldogs at the line of scrimmage. That's Zach Anderson. It's going to bring up second down.
I was just about to say, if they had the pass play called on the near side, they had the matchup that they wanted. I'm surprised that they tried to go to the flat so quickly. They did have the play deep, but that's one thing we haven't seen from the Pirates. After those drop passes, they haven't tried to take another big shot.
Well, it's second down and 10. Quan Marion in the backfield with Gilpin, two receivers either side of the formation. They're going to hand to Marion. Marion carries over the 40 to about the 43, where he's dropped by number 53, Fabian Facundo.
Yeah, but we had a little extracurricular activity on the outside as the corner and the wide receiver were still locked up. And it was the corner who pancaked the Southwestern receiver, and the flag came out there, Chuck.
Oh, and it will go against the Bulldogs, and that'll give the Pirates an automatic first down. So instead of 3rd and 9 or 10, the Pirates have it 1st and 10. Ball now in Bulldog territory at the 42-yard line.
Just 6 minutes remain in this first half of play. This would be optimal if the Pirates can get us touchdown.
Brandon Jennings, the running back beside Gilpin. Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back, forced up in the pocket, and he's going to get wrapped up by number 99, Colton Mattis. They have lost about a yard on that play, second down.
Chuck, were you ever a gamer growing up? Did you ever play like Dungeons and Dragons or any of those RPGs?
I did play a little D&D in what would be referred to as middle school now, but we called it junior high back then.
Back in the day. But you know how some of those characters get leveled up, and right now there's like a momentum bonus for the Bulldogs here playing on senior day.
Jennings just to the left of Gilpin. Gilpin takes the snap, drops back, rolls to his left, looking downfield, spins it, caught by, or they're going to say incomplete. That was Ethan Powell coming back and kind of having to dive a little bit to get under the pass. Looked like he caught it, but, you know, there were players in the way, and the referee says no catch, third down.
Yeah, it was just right on the ground, and it kind of skidded into his arms as opposed to him being able to get his arms underneath it in time. And it's just been a little timing issues with the wide receivers in Gilpin. They've connected on some passes. Obviously, the receivers didn't help him out on the last offensive drive, but he's also had miss on some of his accurate throws from earlier. They've been a little inaccurate as of late.
Trips here on the near side of the formation for Gilpin. Jennings, the running back. Gilpin takes the snap, drops back, rolls to his left, flips downfield. Powell with the catch. They're going to say he's out of bounds, though, when he came down, and that is very unfortunate because he climbed the ladder over the defender to make the catch. And we have a whistle, and it looks like there may be a discussion about that.
Yeah, 2 flags came in after the play. Could be another personal foul, especially if there was any words exchange. We've seen how taunting has been called in the NFL as of late, so you just never know.
Well, societally, there is a push towards being kind to others. So, you know, and that doesn't happen a whole lot on the football field.
Hey, I remember the WWE's Be a Star campaign. I get it. No bullies.
Well, that one's going to go against Ethan Powell.
Well,
it will be 4th and long, and so the Pirates will bring out the punting unit as the penalty will push the line of scrimmage back into Pirate territory. It's about 18, About 28 yards, so it's 4th and 28.
Well, that's tough because obviously there wasn't any extra contact after the play, so something had to have been said. But this extra 15 yards, with Will Earps, he might be able to get this thing down within the 20, probably around the 15.
Well, sometimes when you go down in a pile like that, your legs get restless leg syndrome as you're trying to get up, and referees sometimes see that. Earps with a nice punt. It's going to take a Bulldog bounce and then just kind of die right at the 23. Jamarcus Ross will down it to be positive, but it'll be Bulldog football right there.
You know, the one thing that the Bulldogs have been doing this week as opposed to what the Kangaroos were unable to do last week is to take advantage of the situations and play some really clean football. They have given no gifts to these visiting Pirates, where Austin College gifted the football many times last week.
Well, and that can really hurt you, as we saw. And it's one way to win. You know, when you play Mary Hardin Baylors of the world, you can't make mistakes.
Exactly.
We have a shuttle pass to Sotelo, number 80, or Sotelo rather. He'll pick up about 4 yards straight ahead. Looks like they're going to give him 5, 2nd down.
Yeah, unique play call to start off with the shovel pass, but this Pirate defense has been hard to break after those first 2 offensive drives. They've really stouted up.
Cosme with the running backs on either side here in the formation. He's going to hand it to number 22, and he'll get wrapped up quickly by Peyton Ludeman and Nick Hackett. And, of course, that running back, Jacob Fortin, no real gain, maybe even lost a yard on that play. It's going to be 3rd down.
Is it Martha and the Vandellas that seeing nowhere to run, nowhere to hide?
Yeah, that may be right.
Because
I'm not sure.
This Pirate defense, they're so quick going sideline to sideline. Really hard to get around the edge on them.
Jacob Fortin, the running back beside Cosme. Cosme will take the snap, looks to his left, passes complete to Sotelo, and he'll stiff arm a player and then just get leveled by number 9, Patrick Nicholas. And so he stiff-armed pretty rudely a Pirate defender, and then Patrick Nicholas made him pay for it.
He gave him one of those Derrick Henry-style stiff arms where that was all gasping as it was before, but then it was a Goldberg-like spear.
Yeah, and then it was quiet from the crowd. Cosme drops straight back, hits down the seam trying to find an open number 88 again, Aaron Sotelo, and that's incomplete, and led him by about 3 or 4 yards too long.
Yeah, in case you tuned in late, it was a couple of big plays, especially on that second drive that led to the second score, but TLU getting the score on their first 2 opening drives. After that, this defense has really settled in for the Pirates, and now they look to be on the same page.
Cosme will hand off to Fortin coming to the near side. He'll cut up off the right tackle. He'll have a 1st down, and he'll be ridden out of bounds by Peyton Ludeman in Pirate territory at the, where are they going to mark it? The 44-yard line.
It's one of the better runs that the Bulldogs have had, especially here in the second quarter against this Pirates defense. And now you just wonder, how tired is this defense for having to be on the field a little bit longer because the offense just hasn't been able to sustain drives this afternoon?
Well, we'll find out here shortly. Bulldogs in Pirate territory, 1st and 10. Cosme takes the snap. He's going to hand off to Fortin, and Alec Gomez rudely meets him in the backfield and gives a little bit of a celebration on Fortin. Is lucky he got that handoff because Alec Gomez almost took that handoff.
I was really hoping he was going to be able to pop that ball loose, but that's what I'm talking about from Gomez, laying the smackdown. 2 straight plays in a row where the Pirate defense has brought the pain.
You got to make them pay for carrying the football. And we've seen it, like you said, on the last 2 plays.
Yeah, but those hits add up, and maybe that ball comes loose next time.
Cosme will shuffle it straight ahead to Sotelo, and he's going to get upended by Eli Morris, number 4. Also in the mix, number 9, Patrick Nicholas. He'll gain a couple. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
I like how this Pirate defense hunts for the football. You see them flying in at all sorts of odd angles. Even when the ball carrier is being close to being brought down, they still fly.
So Cosme will take the snap, roll to the left. He'll flip it out to Willis, who's going to get wrapped up in the backfield by Bernard Century. It's 4th down and a ton as the line of scrimmage now back in Bulldog territory. We're talking about 4th and about 17 here.
Well, when you need your playmakers to make plays, this is a good time for it to happen. We got an opportunity to talk with that young man last week, and he was such a gracious interview.
Was that a penalty that just occurred?
No, timeout taken.
Okay.
But Bernard Century, I mean, outside of the pads, wearing the helmet, just an all-around class act, but showing you what he can do on the football field right there with that read, shutting down what any sideline lane that was supposed to be there.
And the Pirate defense is playing pretty inspired after you had mentioned giving up a couple of quick scores early. And really, it was almost as if Texas Lutheran woke up about 15 minutes before the Pirates did, and it just took the Pirates a little bit to get into a groove, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And the offense has moved the ball pretty effectively, but they have not been able to come away with points. They had attempts down near the goal line, a couple of deep passes. One fell incomplete. Actually, 2 fell incomplete, and there was a third that was intercepted.
And that's what's been the great concern right now is that offense just hasn't clicked here in the first half for the Pirates, and their defense is doing what they do best. But at some point, the Pirates, the wide receivers need to start making some plays for Gilpin.
Welch in to punt for the Bulldogs. Back deep, Austin Castilleja. Welch gets a nice kickoff. Castilleja with a fair catch at around the 12, and the Pirates will have the ball there, 1st and 10, with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the half. So if you're going to get points here in the first half, you got to do it quickly here, 90 seconds away from the break.
And ideally, you don't settle for a field goal or a field goal attempt. You would like to come away with at least 6 points and possibly 7 after the extra point. We've seen already this season those are not gimmies.
Jennings, the running back, with Landry Gilpin at quarterback. 3 receivers on the wide side of the formation. Gilpin will drop straight back, roll to his right, step up in the pocket, back out right, and hit Jennings on a little slip screen to the outside. He'll pick up about 3 yards, step out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, it's a patented Gilpin throw, that little sidearm to the outside on the flag, and he puts it right where he needs to pick up the positive yards. Clock will also stop because he went out of bounds, so that's helpful here with only 1:24 left in the first half.
Well, they don't show the timeout. Oh, they do, and the Pirates have 1 remaining. Gilpin takes the snap, rolls to his left, squares his shoulders, decides to run. He's over the 25-30 as he cuts across the field, 35-40, trying to get towards out of bounds, and he will step out of bounds at the 45. 1st down and 10 Pirates. Still 1:11 remaining here in the half.
Well, you need that score. Sprinkle a little of that Landry magic on it. And he, again, he is so much faster than he looks.
He ran about 60 yards and gained about 30.
But it was such an impressive way to gain those 30 yards.
It was.
That's just it.
Jennings will remain the running back. Trips on the near side of the formation. Gilpin drops back looking at that side, and he'll hit Ethan, number 84 for the Pirates. And that, of course, is Ethan Powell for the 1st down. I just had a moment. I couldn't remember Ethan Powell's last name. It's a 1st and 10 Pirates. Now ball at the 44, back on the line of scrimmage. Gilpin takes the snap, rolls to his right, and will hit Jennings on a little pass in the flat, and he'll step out of bounds at the 41, gain about 3 yards. Stop the clock is the key there with 52 seconds remaining.
And the Pirates still maintain their one and only timeout left here in the first half. Still down 14-0. But I like the way that this offense is motoring now. They're starting to click, but we've seen it already. They've been able to get this far. Can they finish to end the first half?
Traditional spread formation. Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back, standing in the pocket, has plenty of time, kind of rolls to his left. He's being pressured, slips a couple of tackles, rolls all the way to his right, looking downfield, decides to tuck and run. He's at the 35-30. He'll pick up the 1st down near the 30, and that will stop the clock for the 1st down with 36 seconds. and they'll burn a timeout, and that'll be their final timeout of the half.
Give a lot of credit there to the senior Charles De La Rosa, as he provided that key block as Landry had nowhere to go. I think he was expecting to see some open space on that first spin move, and he ran into the defender. He had to come back across the grain, and if it wasn't for De La Rosa, he would have been sacked in the backfield for a loss. But because of that block from the offensive lineman, that allowed him to get out of danger and downfield.
One of the best ways defensively to deal with a quarterback like Landry Gilpin is to contain him within the pocket. You don't allow him to spin out of the pocket because that gives him too much room to work with and maneuver. So if you can keep him in that narrow pocket, his only option is straight ahead. And if you've got a linebacker there waiting, even keying on him, then you have a chance. It's just a chance,
yeah, it's
because
just a chance against him, though,
he's fast and he can, as you say, put a little wiggle on you that leaves you just speechless and standing there. So as he goes by you.
And he's even made some of the most athletic linebackers in the ASC look foolish. So you're really taking a gamble by trying to spy him.
3 receivers near side of the formation for Gilpin. He'll take the snap, forced up in the pocket. He has to flush out to the left, turns his shoulders and throws. Incomplete, intended for Dugan Sexton on the sideline. 29 seconds remaining at 2nd and 10.
Well, at least he threw it away once again, and that stops the clock. I really thought he was going to throw that ball left-handed. Now, he's a right-handed guy, but I really thought he was just going to try to throw it towards the boundary. At least Dugan tried to make a play on it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled out his left hand and threw it a good pass.
Yeah, that's just it.
Nothing would surprise me in that sense. There's 3 receivers here on the wide side of the formation. Quan Marion, the running back. Gilpin takes the snap straight back, looking down to his left, and the pocket collapses. And you see, that's what I was saying. They kept him in the pocket, and eventually you're going to get to him if your secondary does their job, and that's Augustin on the sack. They're down.
Yeah, the clock was still ticking. That's what the most important thing was right now.
Pirates spike it.
11 seconds left, and on 4th down, I don't know if they're going to go for a field goal here. I mean, the MO is to come away with points, but you're looking at a long field goal attempt if that's something that they're thinking about.
No, I think they're going to likely do some type of Hail Mary attempt here. That's what I would do here. I would line up 3, maybe 4 receivers on that same side of the formation, roll that direction, leave someone in the backfield to pick up any backside pressure, and just air it out. And it looks like we're going to go a 5-receiver empty set for Gilpin here on 4th and 14. Time ticking away. Gilpin steps up in the pocket, airs it up down the left side, and it's going to be intercepted in the end zone by the Bulldogs, and that's number 16 getting that interception, Eugene Robinson. And time will expire in the half, and we'll go to half. Pirates down 2 scores, 14-0. You have any comments about the first half, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, here at the end of the first half, you like to see they're going to put back 4 seconds actually on the clock, so our first half isn't undone just yet, but might as well just tell you now as they get reset to get back on the field here.
Yeah, that's good.
That I don't mind him taking the chance like that downfield.
No.
Obviously, it was 4th down. That was better than a punt. So at least he took a shot to try to get those points at the end. But as we have seen, the wide receivers in Gilpin, they just haven't been on the same page consistently today. They've hooked up a couple of times. There have been those glances of magic every now and then, but it's the consistency that has been an issue all year long, showing up in this game offensively for the Bulldogs.
It's eluding them today. And the Bulldogs will take a knee, and we are now at half. Before we go to halftime to take a break, I want to go on ahead and give our corporate sponsors another mention here. And as we said earlier, if you're able to support these corporate sponsors, we ask that you do so, because it's a community effort.
And that's what keeps this free.
That's right. And they include Antioch Georgetown, Chapel Realty Group, Roger Chapel, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Groove Line Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press, Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions, Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners with Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. And as I said, please support the corporate sponsors who support your Southwestern University Pirates. We'll go to halftime. It's 14-0, Texas Lutheran Bulldogs on top. Stay with us for the second half. For Justin Simmons, Mickey Holden, I'm Chuck Cracy. Stay tuned.
Junior, Malia Mitchell, Destiny Sotelo. Senior, Madison Flores. Captain, Junior, Allison Wenzel. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this special performance as the Gold Stars dance to sax. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up again for the Gold Star Dance Team. Ladies and gentlemen, TLU is again pleased to recognize our sponsors for the 2021 football season. Our title sponsors for 2021 are the Taylor Company, Guadalupe Regional Medical Center, and Davola's Barbecue. Davola's Barbecue is the official barbecue provider to the TLU press box. Visit Davola's just down the street from Bulldog Stadium at 418 West Kingsbury Street for your entire pregame and postgame barbecue needs. TLU is also pleased to partner with Singing Smiles, Dr. Janice Wyman, Lloyd's Brick and Alignment, Anders Pierce Realty, CMC Steel Texas, Ayla's Tree Farm, Daniel Pest Control and Professional Services, First Commercial Bank, Kirchner's Women's Clinic, and TLU Bookstore with Touchdown Mondays.
Test 1, 2.
Welcome back to Texas Lutheran University in Seguin, home of the Bulldogs, where the Bulldogs lead your Southwestern University Pirates by a score of 14-0 here at halftime. Justin, pretty rough half for the offense. You know, the defense really stepped up over the mid first quarter through the rest of the half. Of the offense able to move the ball up and down the field, but really haven't been able to get much by way of even scoring opportunities.
Definitely for those that are just tuning in, first two defensive stands for the Pirates went all for naught, as the only points that have been scored were scored on those first two offensive drives for the hosting Bulldogs, who are playing here. This is their final regular season home game. There will be no playoffs for them, so this is senior day. Obviously, emotions are high, and they had the momentum on their side to start things off. The Pirate defense starting to answer the call about midway through that first quarter, and then able to win the battle in the second. However, it's been the offense that has been the issue for the Pirates, as we have seen many times this season. Last week, they were able to click on almost everything. This week, it's been a very sparse running attack. They haven't really fed Jaquan Marion all that much. Landry Gilpin has had the ball in his hands a lot. He has made some good plays. He has tossed a couple of interceptions, one of them coming at the very end of the half, so it was more of a long punt than anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't even count that one, although it does go against you in the stat sheet.
So when we get to that here in a second, we'll hear about that as well. But just not getting the help from his wide receivers. There was a lot of instances where the football had hit the hands of his intended receivers. It was a double bobble, a good throw that was up and over a defender and drops in, but maybe the shadow of the defender was in the receiver's eyes and it caused an incomplete pass. But those receivers need to step up and make some plays. We saw some help later towards the end of the second quarter where some of those receivers were making some more difficult catches.
Well, there was even one that was Ethan Powell caught here on the sideline on the TLU side that was called an incompletion out of bounds. And then there was a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty assessed against Ethan Powell that, we didn't see any kind of shenanigans, so it must have been something verbal exchange. Who knows?
But if you're looking at a positive for that, I mean, if you're a Pirates fan, is that there haven't been a lot of penalties that have caused to stop a potential scoring drive. There have been a lot of instances where the Pirates haven't been able to get good yardage on first down, leaving them in second and long situations, and that's something that needs to be addressed in this second half, that is for sure. But since we still have a couple of minutes left, let's go through the stats really quickly here. It is 14-0 if you just joined us again here on SHN Sports. Rushing yards, if we're talking about net rushing yards, it's 12-7 in favor of Southwestern, or excuse me, that's first downs, 12-7 in favor of Southwestern. Team-wise, 86 rushing yards in favor of the Pirates. The TLU's 56. Passing-wise, it has been 102 yards completed passes for Texas Lutheran for 72 compared to Southwestern. Penalties, there's only been one committed, and it was that personal foul at the end of the second quarter for Southwestern. Only 2 committed from TLU, so this has been a rather mistake-free game for the most part. Third down conversions, Pirates are 4 of 10. TLU is 2 of 6. Individually, let's look at it really quick. Jacob Forden, he's leading the way in rushing with 21 yards gained off of 5 touches for Texas Lutheran. Seth Cosme, the quarterback, he has 17 yards of rushing off of 5 attempts. For the Pirates, it's Landry Gilpin, 11 attempts for 72 yards gained. He does have a net of 66 since he lost 6, but it did break one long for 29 yards. He's averaging about 6 yards a carry. Jaquan Marion, he has had 7 touches, 29 yards, but lost 6, so 20 yards total with a 10 long yard average. Passing wise, Gilpin, he's hit those 72 yards. He's taken a sack. He's 11 of 26 so far in this contest. So a lot of little passes have been completed. As for Seth Cosme, he's 6 of 8 for 102 yards. He had that 45-yard touchdown, the lone touchdown throw of this game. Receiving wise, Austin Castañeja, he has been targeted 7 times. He has made 3 catches for 20 yards. Ethan Powell, he has caught 2 of his 4 targets for 29 yards. Jaquan Marion has caught both of his targets out of the backfield for 12 yards. And Brandon Jennings, he has completed both of his catches for 6 yards in this game. Aaron Sotelo leads the way for the Bulldogs, 50 yards off of 4 touches, off of 5 targets. And then Trent Stefka, he has the touchdown where he went 45 yards on his lone catch. And then you have Yawathathon McKenzie, who has his 1 catch for 7 yards. We go to the punter, Will Earps. I mean, he's just doing his thing punting-wise. 41-yard long punt by him. He's averaging about 40 yards per punt, and he's already had 2 inside the 20 today. Cameron Welch, he's had to punt away 4 times for the Bulldogs, averaging 40.2 yards, and he's had 1 go over 50 yards, with 1 dropping in the end zone as well. Defensively, For the Pirates, it's Patrick Nicholas who leads the way. He has 5 tackles. Alexander Gomez with 4. Bernard Sensory alongside Peyton Vaughn each have 3. And for Texas Lutheran is Sultan Abdullah. He has 5. Anthony Jackson, Dimitri Savala with 4, and then Cannon Comas with 3 tackles.
Well, to open the third quarter, the Pirates will be kicking to the Bulldogs. Back deep for the Bulldogs is going to be number 16, Eugene Robinson, along with 34, DeCorey Willis. And Charlie Fournier will do the kicking duties for the Pirates. We'll see if it's a deep kick, a squib kick, an onside kick, who knows.
And this ball, it's going to just be caught and will be taken around the 20, 25 to start things off for this Bulldogs offense that is looking to try to get back on track after the first quarter, where they were able to answer with back-to-back starting drives for touchdowns.
Well, coming out in formation from the sidelines will be Cosme and his Bulldogs. Willis, the tailback behind Cosme, and just to his right, the, as you mentioned, yard leader for the first half, Aaron Sotelo. No option look to the near side, and Cosme has to keep it, and he'll get wrapped up by number 92 of the Pirates, Malik McDonald, for a loss of about 5 yards on that play.
One of the most difficult ways to approach this Pirate defense is to try to go east and west against them, because they have the team speed to get sideline to sideline, and you saw it right there from McDonald as he was able to get to Cosme and ride him down for the loss. But it's going to break up second and long. Cosme, he still has the hands on the football, and then will deliver this strike to the outside right next to the boundary.
It looks like he's going to get back to about the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, right at that 25-yard line here in the second quarter. But that will only bring up 3rd down, and it's going to be 3rd and long. And this is where the Pirates can really put on the pressure here to see if they can possibly.
On the offense, wide receiver steps out with the first impact the ball. We lost it down at the previous spot. They're down.
So it'll be 3rd down, and instead of 3rd and 10, it'll be 3rd and 15, because that was an illegal reception. Receiver stepped out of bounds, came back in, was the first to touch the football.
And you'll take that as the Pirates are looking to try to get on the right track here in the second half of play. But they can use a big stop here to start things off.
Cosme fakes to Willis, drops back, and there's a screen pass intended for Willis, and just too much pressure, and there is a penalty flag down as the Pirates are concerned, because it's in the area where it could have been a roughing the passer penalty. Or
oh, you're being nice, man. McDonald pushed him down right when he got rid of that ball. You know that's the call.
I don't know. I think, I'm just of the opinion that quarterbacks get a little bit more protection than is necessary. And in that case, if you have the football in your hand and you're a defensive lineman, you want to make a sack, obviously. And it just really depends on the interpretation of how much time between the ball leaving the quarterback's hand and you putting your hands on that quarterback.
It's understandable. There wasn't a whole lot, but you know how the game is called nowadays.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. Real quick swing pass to Willis as he went in motion just prior to the snap. He'll pick up about 3 yards. He's going to get wrapped up after minimal gain. And it looks like Jamarcus Ross on the tackle. They're going to give Corkin credit here on the PA, and so we'll mention his name as well in case I missed him. 2nd down and 7 here for the Bulldogs.
But unfortunate for the Pirates is that's going to keep them out on the field longer defensively.
They'll hand to Willis, and he'll cut back towards the Pirate sideline and carry it over the 40 to about the 43, and it was a tough 4 or 5 yard gain for Willis, but he's able to move it down the field shy of the first down there on the stop. Patrick Nicholas as well as Peyton Ludeman. It's going to be 3rd and about 2. Big play here for the Pirate defense. Cosme will take that snap, Drop to his right, flip it down the sideline, just throw it out of bounds as his receiver didn't cut the route off like he thought he would, and that was intended for Roland Bland. It's going to be 4th down.
Good coverage by the Pirates as well. By Elijah Norris, run stride for stride with his receiver just in case. And this is a good win for the Pirates defense if they do end up forcing the punt. Because of that 15-yard penalty moments ago, I really felt that the Bulldogs were going to be able to do more with the drive.
Well, Cameron Welch in the punting unit will come out for the Bulldogs on 4th and 2. Back to receive the punt will be Austin Castilleja for the Pirates. There's the snap. Welch gets his foot into it, and it's a high spiraling kick caught by Castilleja at the 18. He'll break a couple of tackles at the 20, 25, and he'll be forced out of bounds near the 30 by number 4, Anthony Jackson. And the Pirates will have it 1st and 10, their first possession of the second half.
And good return there from Castilleja as he was able to get out of the grasp of those would-be tacklers and get to around the 30-yard line to start off this drive. Now, there's still plenty of time on the clock. There was only about 3 minutes taken off of the last possession. I'm wondering if the Pirates will opt to go to the running game more often here in this second half, as they had great success with their running game last week.
They'll come out with 2 receivers here on the near side, and with the tight end, Quan Marion, the running back. Gilpin will take the snap, and they'll hand to Marion coming to the near side. He'll carry it over the 30 to the 35 and lunge out to the 36 for a gain of 6 yards.
But the one thing we haven't seen too much in this game, Chuck, is back-to-back runs. So I'm wondering if they're going to elect to feed Marion a little bit more consistently in this second half. Like, will you give him another touch after this? And if it's 3rd and short, will you still go to him?
Well, Marion lined up at quarterback with Jennings at running back, and Marion will take the snap and follow Jennings straight ahead. He's at the 40, 45, 50. Gets a block from Jennings. He's at the 45, and he'll get tackled from behind after a big gain by number 15, Dimitri Zavala. What a run by Marion. What a call by the offense. They just had 2 running backs in the backfield.
Yeah, great job by everyone involved, from the coaches to the offensive line and to Marion completing that run. But exactly what you want to see. He's hot right now. The offensive line is clicking. Keep feeding the running back the football and just try to pound it in right now.
Yeah, you got to get them a touchdown at a time. We might as well start now. Marion to the left of Gilpin. There's the snap. Fake to Marion. Gilpin keeps on the left side and will carry over the 25 to about the 24. So a gain of about 4. 2nd and 6.
Sometimes, and it's understandable, sometimes coaches will overthink themselves, but right now it seems pretty simplistic. No need to get cute. Just continue running the ball until you feel that the defense is going to bite, just like the way that the Bulldogs offense set up the Pirates defense in the first quarter.
Make that play action work for you. Marion moves to Gilpin's left. There's a snap. They'll hand to Marion coming this way. He'll cut right up behind the center, spin his way down near the 15 for another Pirate first down.
Now you see it already. The blitzes are starting to creep up ever so slightly at the line of scrimmage for the Bulldogs. This now might be the opportunity where that play action, that run-pass option, will come into play here for Southwestern.
So Quan Marion will line up to the right of Landry Gilpin. 2 receivers on the near side of the formation. There's a snap. Gilpin will hand to Marion going to the short side of the field, and he's going to get wrapped up after a short gain of maybe 2 yards.
But I'm a fan of the play call, though.
Oh, yes. That's number 44, credited with the tackle, Ian Ochoa. They're going to give him a gain of 3, make it 2nd and 7 for the Pirates.
I mean, you look at where this drive started to where they're all right now, and it's all come way of the ground game. Keep on going until they can prove they can stop it.
Brandon Jennings in at running back now. Gilpin takes a snap and moves to his left, trying to find the edge, and he's going to get tripped up out of bounds around the 12-yard line by number 15, Dimitri Zavala. So no real gain on that play. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, and it's not a 3rd and short situation either. This is 3rd and 7. Pirates don't have to go to the end zone here.
Yeah, they're in field goal range for Will Earps too, so we'll see. And they'll move Gilpin into the slot again, and it's Marion and Jennings in the backfield. Marion, the quarterback, he'll take the snap, and he'll follow Jennings. in the middle, and he's going to get tackled by big number 95 without much of a gain, Montre Smith. In fact, he may have even lost a yard on the play. It's 4th down.
Yeah, this time the Bulldog defense was ready for that same exact play call, and like you mentioned, they send in Will Earps to see if he can nail this kick.
Got to get on the board. And you don't want this drive to end without points. And so Will Earps will tee it up at the 21 for a 31-yard attempt. There's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up. And it is good. And the Pirates break the shutout with a field goal from Will Earps. It's 14-3 now.
Yeah, Pirates are very fortunate that Earps was able to get that kick away. It wasn't a good snap. It had to be picked up off of the ground and then reset. So good job on Earps to make it accurate and to get them on the board for a very, very crucial 3 points.
Yeah, you got to break the ice at some point. And credit Coleman Kerr, the holder there, for handling, what wasn't the best snap and getting it down into a position where Will Earps can get it through those uprights, and he did.
Oh, it's definitely not a Hollywood spotlight job, but you definitely realize when it goes wrong, and
oh yes,
you want to give credit when it definitely has to go above to make it right.
Well, and oftentimes it throws off the timing. As you know, kicking is as many plays are in football, they're based on timing, and if the timing is off, then the play generally is unsuccessful and oftentimes results in a turnover. Fournier will come out to kick off for the Pirates. It'll be his second kickoff. Back deep is Willis and number 16, Zavala.
Pirates had some luck with pooch kicks last week against Austin College.
Fournier gets a high kick. Zavala's going to field it around the 7. He's up past the 10, 15. He cuts to his left and then back up the middle as he's shed a few tackles, and he'll carry it up to the 26. A flag comes flying in late. Not sure if that's just going to be a block in the back or what. Getting up off the bottom of that pile is going to be number 39 for the Pirates, and that is, of course, Dugan Sexton. Or check, that's probably Aiden O'Connell there on kick coverage. Same number.
Pretty much all the flags that we've seen here today have been of the 15-yard variety.
Yeah, personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct. This one, just a block in the back. A 10-yard variety.
Hey, but the Pirates will take that.
Yes, the thing about it is it's still 1st and 10. It's just 1st and 10 from the 15 instead of the 25.
That's a big difference, though.
It is.
Especially with the way that this defense is played.
And especially if you can get a negative play on the first play against the Bulldogs, some kind of sack or tackle for a loss.
Because if you think of it, last time on the first drive, it was a 3-and-out until the 15-yard penalty on the unsportsmanlike conduct, which was really a 50-50 call.
Fortin, the tailback, and they'll hand to him. And Corkin's there, but he'll squirt by. Corkin as Bernard Century will make the stop with Patrick Nicholas, a gain of about 4 yards. Make it 6 yards.
One of the big things here, though, is that this Pirate defense has been able to take the crowd out of this game. They were a rowdy bunch when this game first started. The offense capitalized on that rowdiness and the momentum, but they have been quiet, and this is their final home game of the year and senior day, and it just doesn't feel like it right now.
Sotelo, the H-back, next to Cosme. They'll hand to Fortin, the tailback, and he'll get through a tackle by Ludeman, but not much further as number 0, Cam Terry, wraps him up, but not until after he picks up a first down for the Bulldogs.
Those are a couple of good hard runs. Something that's been hard to come by against this Pirate defense, who's notoriously stout against the run.
Jacob Fortin, a sophomore out of Smithson Valley High School. Running hard, and they'll hand to him again. No, they'll fake to him, and Cosme will roll to his left and flip it out complete to Sotelo, and he'll get popped near the 40, but picks up a first down. That's number 11, delivering that hit, Peyton Ludeman. But yet another Bulldog first down. Score still 14-3, 7:52 remaining here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are going to be forced to run their entire offense. They can't elect to try to turn out the clock, especially how good this Pirate defense is against the run. There's just not enough points between these two teams to try to kill the clock in this situation here in the third.
Cosme looks over the defense, 2 backs in the backfield. He rolled to his right in the option look. He'll keep it, but he'll get wrapped up near the line of scrimmage by Bernard Century. They may give him a gain of a yard. Looks like he may have even lost a yard. Looks like they're going to leave it at the original line of scrimmage, though. Kind of an odd angle when the press box isn't quite as high as you're accustomed to. Second and 10.
It is a unique plane that we're sitting on. That's for sure.
Well, fortunately for us, we're in the booth and poor Mickey's out on the sun deck above us. 2 backs in the backfield for Cosme. He'll fake to Fortin, and he'll be flushed forward, and he's got some open field in front of him. He's over the midfield, picks up a block at the 45-40, and he'll be cut down around the 37 by number 9, Patrick Nicholas. But another first down for the Bulldogs as they start to put something together here in their second drive of the half.
A huge play there from the offensive line. They got all sorts of blocking downfield to the Bulldogs, and this is my concern is just we're getting towards that midway point of the third quarter. The Pirates defense had to be out there for a long time in the first half. Is it going to add up here on the Sunday afternoon?
Fortin will take the handoff from Cosme, and he'll get tripped up in the backfield. Really a shoestring tackle by definition by Jason Lund, big 94. They're going to give him a gain of about a yard, 2nd and 9.
You know, in rugby, we call that the shoe tap tackle because that's exactly what he did. He just kind of hit his foot into the runner's other foot, and that was able to upend him. But that takes a lot of strength to do.
Well, if you've ever been tripped like that, there's not anything you can do once it occurs. 2nd and 9, Cosme takes the snap, fakes to Fortin, rolls to his right, has pressure. Pass downfield, incomplete. Intended for and wanting a penalty is number 19, McKenzie, but he was covered nicely by Cam Terry, and it'll be 3rd and 9.
Yeah, most of the time when referees see both the defender and the offensive player have hands on each other and pushing off and grabbing at each other, they usually let them go, even if there was contact afterward.
Well, that pass, again, you know, we look back to the definition of was it catchable, and that didn't look very catchable to me. 3rd and 9, 2 backs in the backfield, the tailback Fortin, and we're going to have a timeout Bulldogs as they want to make sure they have the right play call. And I'll take this moment to mention our sponsors once again. We ask that you do business with these folks if you can as they support the community in Georgetown. They include Antioch Georgetown, Chapel Realty Group with Roger Chapel, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Groove Line Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press, Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions with Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. Back to action, 3rd and 9 for Cosme and the Bulldogs. Willis in the backfield. They'll hand to Willis. He's looking to maybe throw. He's going to get pressure from Lund, and he will throw it down the field. The receiver falls down. It was intended for number 5, Daniel Mendoza, and his feet just slipped out from under him. There were defenders there, and I'm not saying it would have been a touchdown, but there was an opportunity there for the Bulldogs.
Oh, there was definitely a chance after it looked like the defense had kind of given up at the end of that play because they expected the tackle to be made in the backfield. But the one thing that people will not understand if you never played on this style field turf, that while there are while it's a really nice playing surface and much better than the old AstroTurf could ever imagine being, because I played on that as well, you do end up having some dead spots on the field after some wear and tear, and there's some areas that are just way slippier than others, and I think we found one here at Bulldog Stadium.
They just got to add those little tire shavings in those spots to make them more a fake attempt on the field goal, and they try to give it to Willis on an end around, but the Pirates are not fooled. Waiting for it, number 11, Peyton Ludeman, and the Pirates will take the football in wonderful territory at around the 42, maybe they're going to mark it at the 42, 1st and 10, Southwestern.
Yeah, it looked like it was Ludeman and Jason Lunn on the opposite end just to corral the trick play from happening, but great special team awareness there.
I wonder if they call that the Charlie Brown-Lucy play, because the holder – pulled the ball as if the kicker was still going to attempt the kick. He just, pulled it from him and handed it to Willis. Unsuccessful. First down, Pirates. Hand off to Quan Marion coming to the near side. He'll carry up to the 45 for a gain. Make it the 46 for a gain of 5.
Yeah, Marion's getting some good yards per average here this afternoon. They just haven't gone to him a whole lot. We did see it on the first offensive drive of this second half, but the Pirates were only able to come away with the field goal after getting into the red zone.
Well, Quan Marion will remain the running back. We'll have 2 receivers on the far side of the formation, one here near side with a tight end. There's the snap. They're going to hand to fake to Marion, and Gilpin comes back here to the near side. He's tripped up at near the line of scrimmage by number 44, Ian Ochoa. And, they'll give him a gain of about 2. It's going to be third and make it third and 4. They give him a gain of 1.
I'll be interested to see if the Pirates elect to go to the air on this play. They have abandoned the pass so far here in the third quarter, and because you're just tuning in with us maybe right now, it might have to do with the fact that the receivers dropped a lot of passes in the first half of play.
And they've had a lot of success on the ground as well, and that may be also in the decision-making process. Marion, the running back, with Gilpin, the quarterback. They'll hand to Marion going to the wide side. He'll cut up at the 48 and keeps his balance and picks up the first down at the Bulldog 47. Great job by Quan Marion, as he had a tackler at his feet that would have dropped him shy of the line needed for the first down, but he was able to pick it up.
Also give some credit to De La Rosa on the pull, the tackle, coming out and making that shield block and kind of sealing that lane. And then after that, it was Marion who had to do the rest and make the guy miss in the hole. But good run by him to get the first down.
Yeah, good vision as well from the freshman. 1st and 10, Pirates. Gilpin fakes to Marion, looks to pass, then looks to run, then hits an open Ethan Powell. Check that. That's Joey Robinson, number 85, over the middle with the completion. And he'll carry it into or close to the red zone down to the 21.
Yeah, that's his first catch of the day, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Perfect delivery from Gilpin as he put just enough pace on there, but took a little bit off of it to allow his receiver to adjust to the football.
Just the fact that he looked like he was going to run froze the defender for a second and allowed him to lift that arm up and complete that pass. 2 receivers, far side of the formation. Marion at quarterback takes a snap, follows Jennings. Breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage. He's at the 15. He'll be cut down right around the 15. Good gain there on first down, though. About 6 yards. About 6 yards. 2nd down and 4 for the Pirates.
While Southwestern has had some success running the football, it's when they try to pull it wide, going east to west, where this Bulldog defense shows off its team speed, as they have been hard to break the big play on. That's something that the Bulldogs offense has been able to do against the Pirates defense, is hit the big play.
Tysigwe in at running back. Gilpin will hand to him going the other way. He's got that 15, 10, cuts in 5, down close to the goal line. They're going to get him down around the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Pirates.
You see the size of that hole from the offensive line?
Huge.
Opened up the sea.
Huge. So the Pirates in the red zone here, about 1.5 yards away from pay dirt. Is that ball marked at the 1? It looks like there is an injured Bulldog down. Looks like it is marked at the 1. We'll make it 1st and goal from the 1.
Yeah, as they still have
We'll
the
have
player
it.
down right now to get tended to.
Yeah, officials timeout.
Yeah, that's Sultan Abdullah, who has had a really big day for them.
Yeah, he's made quite a few tackles today. Looks like he's going to be able to get up. Now, this is one of those days that I wouldn't be surprised to see some cramping going on amongst some of the players.
It has been an odd week as he's up to his feet under his own power.
It looks like it might be his shoulder, though, as he's kind of hanging that right arm down. That
he's just kind of sitting there. It's not really moving a whole lot.
He's just letting it hang down there, and that's not a good sign. Usually that means there might be some kind of separation or tear. But 1st and goal, ball, I can't tell from our angle. It's either on the 1 or the 2. Looks like the 1.
No, it's definitely the 1, my man.
Looks like but if you look at the box where the referee set up the box, it looks like on the 2. Marion at quarterback takes the snap directly behind Jennings for the touchdown, Pirates. And the Pirates get their first touchdown of the ball game and cut into the lead. It's now 14-9.
And no doubt about it that it would come by way of running the rock with Marion being the hoss back, if you will, on that
Just
drive.
didn't expect it to necessarily be in a Wildcat. If you've been following Southwestern football all season long, you don't expect Jaquan Marion to come out in the quarterback position. And they've caught TLU off guard a little bit with it and been able to poke it in for a score here. Going for 2. Gilpin, the quarterback, Marion, the running back. They'll hand to Marion going to the far side, and he'll have the edge and the 2-point conversion. It's now 14-11. The Pirates within a field goal here with a minute 56 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, terrific play call. Gutsy here to go for 2 to get it within a field goal. Give tons of credit to the offensive line. They sustained their blocks, allowing the running back to get to the outside and get over the goal line. But I love this smash mouth football approach here in the second half for the Pirates. Hey, the passing game wasn't going their way, but they completed the pass that they needed to on this last drive to sustain the drive. But that running game, once the big hog mollies up front gotten going, it's hard to stop.
I'm all about imposing your will on the opponent if you're able, and the Pirates have done that on the ground and need to continue to do that. There's still plenty of football to be played here, but your defense is playing good and you're moving the ball on the ground. So, you get another stop or 2, get another drive or 2, and you have an opportunity to win this game going away down the stretch. Fournier to kick. Willis back deep along with number 16, Robinson.
Well, obviously easier said than done because there would be a few more W's in that column for the Pirates this season if it was just that simple.
Yeah, it's easy to say. It's not quite as easy to do. Willis will field it at the 22, carry it over the 25, and he's going to get popped right around the 30 by number I'm not sure who that was. Okay, it's going to be number 9 for the Pirates, Patrick Nicholas, making yet another tackle on special teams.
That's another key to this game so far is that the Pirates' special teams has been on point today.
Of the 3 phases, you got to give credit to the Pirates' special teams over the Bulldogs' special team. I guess offensively, you might want to credit the Bulldogs' offense at this point. Cosme will hand the ball off to Fortin, and he doesn't have much there. Several Pirates there defensively.
Yeah, they've had some success running the football here, especially in the first half today. Also taking some shots downfield in that first half for the Bulldogs. But ever since those first 2 scores, this Pirate defense is really locked in. They settled, and they've really caused a lot of chaos for the offensive play caller of the Bulldogs.
So Hanneth and Century on that last tackle. Cosme drops back to pass, and it's batted down by Alec Gomez. He was driving the offensive lineman, number 77, Jackson O'Neal, into the quarterback, and as Cosme released it, he's not a real tall quarterback. Alec Gomez able to get up and knock it down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 9.
I'm glad you say that. He's only listed at 5'9", might be at 5'8", but he's a quick fella that's hard to find when he gets lost in between the tackles, but that allows opportunities for the defense to make plays like we just saw.
So 3rd and long, Cosme takes the snap, rolls to his right, looking downfield, has good protection, gets all the way outside, flips it over the middle, complete for a first down. That goes to number 6, Vincent Campos, and they'll keep their drive alive here as we wind down the 3rd quarter with 1:07 and counting.
Yeah, on senior day, it's good to see Campos get a catch, the kid from Del Valle, just outside of Austin on the east side. Giving his grandparents who were sitting like right below us.
Yes, I noticed. I saw some Campos shirts earlier. Cosme with Fortin in the backfield. Takes the snap, looks that way, and carries straight ahead on a design draw, but the Pirates are there to meet him at the line of scrimmage, leading the way. Big number 90, Noah Clarkson, have a penalty flag down. Could be a holding.
Yeah, it did come in the offensive end at the end of that play call. That's what it usually stems to be.
Sometimes it could be a face mask in that area. Fortunately for the Pirates, it is a hold. So it'll stay first down, but it'll be 1st and 20 now for the Bulldogs as they move the line of scrimmage back to the 33-yard line. Clock at 40 seconds, waiting for the referee to wind that play clock, and he does so.
This is the type of break that the Pirates weren't getting in the first half, or these mistakes being caused that are self-detrimental to the Bulldogs' hopes.
Cosme takes that snap. It's an option look. He'll pitch it out to Fortin, and he'll get wrapped up after a minimal gain by Blaine Corkin. Good effort by number 54 for the Pirates. A gain of about maybe 4. So it's going to be 2nd and 16.
Terrific read defensively to make the quarterback hold on to that ball until the plane evened out, so where he can make the tackle on the running back on the pitch as well. And
make him string it out. It is the 4th quarter now. We'll take a short break here. We're going to stay with the broadcast, but it will be 2nd and 16 when we get back. And, we kind of expected the Pirates to come out in the second half, Justin, and do well offensively, and they have. They produced 11 points so far. It's cut into the lead. They were down 14-0, and it's now 14-11. Defense has continued to show up pretty well despite giving up a couple of early scores.
Yeah, and those scores, again, like you said, early, as they were both back-to-back on the first 2 offensive drives in the first half for anybody that's just joining us late here on YouTube on the SHN Sports channel. But if you are the Pirates, you couldn't ask for a better situation. Momentum's on your side. The offense just showed that they could ram it down the throat of the defense. And the defense has been playing well. Special teams has been making some good plays. Yes, they are behind by 3, but if they can get a good stop here, they'll have plenty of time to dictate the pace of the offense to see if they can get a go-ahead score, however the Pirates determine to do so.
Well, it's 2nd and 16 here as we open the 4th period. Cosme pass almost intercepted. Malik McDonald was right there as there was a bit of a screen intended for Fortin. And Malik McDonald wasn't the intended coverage guy, but he acted like a defensive back on that play. He's mad at himself.
Oh, nothing better than a big man interception.
Yeah, I like the big man touchdowns. That would have been nice to see him rumble. 3rd and 16 now for the Bulldogs as we're at 14:55 remaining in the ball game. Big 3rd down here early in the 4th quarter. Cosme takes the snap, drops straight back. He's pressured. Century chasing him. Cosme flips it. It's dropped by Fortin, and Blaine Corkin would have been there to make the tackle regardless. It'll bring up 4th down on that incompletion.
Love the pressure that Century was able to get on the quarterback, and I'm surprised that he was able to get that throw away as it was almost complete, but that's exactly the type of stand that the Pirates were needing here in the 4th quarter, and now they should have an opportunity to charge back with the ball at their offensive possession, and they can decide if they want to keep it on the ground or if they need to change it up here in the 4th, but I don't see too much changing, but it's all dependent after this punt, right?
At 4th and 16, Cameron Welch punts it away. Austin Castilleja, the returner for the Pirates, gets out of the way. It takes a Bulldog roll inside the 20, inside the 15. They're going to down it, looks like around the 14, where it will be Pirate football. It'll be the first drive of the fourth quarter for this Pirate offense.
I wouldn't be too concerned, especially with the way that the Pirates were able to move the football in the last offensive series. It was all by way of the ground game and a couple of different looks, especially with that Wildcat, having Jaquan Marion line up in the quarterback position, threw off TLU. We'll see if that's something that the Pirates want to go back to on this offensive series.
Gianni Taisigwe, the running back, Gilpin will hand to him. He'll cut it up off guard over the 20, 25, and down to about the 27. Or make it, about the 27, picks up a first down.
I love the way that Taisigwe runs. He's a smaller running back. He has more flash, doesn't really dance, but he's hard to pick up, especially behind the big hog mollies, and then he's able to use his vision and speed after the fact to get that first down.
He's got great vision. He'll stay the running back. Gilpin takes the snap, and they'll hand to him again. He'll follow the blocker, but not much there, as behind the blocker comes another defender, number 56, Roberto Salinas, and a loss on the play of about a yard, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, De La Rosa was pulling into a two-man look, and he could only take on one. He tried to guard two and then kind of got bowled over in the process himself.
It's tough to block two guys. I've seen it happen, but they usually are stacked on each other.
I mean, not everybody can be Larry Allen, you know?
Exactly. Jennings, the running back now. Gilpin will take the snap and follow him and not get much there as the Bulldog defense collapses on him. Christian Monroe leading that charge. It's 3rd and 11 now for this Pirate offense. And, you know, we've talked about it all day. The 3rd and manageable, they've been able to convert pretty easily. These 3rd and longs are a little more difficult.
How confident do you feel in the pass game right now? It's not something that they had to have depended on in this second half, but they might have to depend on the passing game here.
Gianni Taisigwe remains the running back. 2 receivers on either side of the formation for Gilpin. He takes the snap straight back, hits Taisigwe out of the backfield, but he'll get slung down after minimal gain by Amari Aga. And
there was a flag right after it, but you know exactly what that call is going to be, my friend, is that he was in a defenseless position when he took the hit on the head because he got hit in the helmet. And it's one of those
that's a targeting penalty, and they could get you tossed.
Exactly. It's one of those bang-bang plays that people aren't too thrilled about in the new evolution of football and safety.
The safety, right.
But it's clearly one of those situations. You saw his arms were extended, he got swung around, and then the contact came on the helmet. Granted, I understand what the defender was trying to do, which was make a play, but Taisigwe, not a big guy already, and just try to get yourself down without going head-to-head, it's a lot to ask. But this is a big play here.
And there's a long discussion about the assessment of the penalty, and the Bulldogs don't seem very happy about the discussion as they kind of show a little bit of frustration. We'll wait and see what the referee calls here.
I mean, because it was a big hit.
And it is a targeting penalty, and that'll be a first down for the Pirates. And home crowd not too happy, but if you're a Pirate fan, you agree you got to protect those running backs. The Pirates have a pretty deep running back crew, but you just can't put Gianni Taisigwe out there and hope that he gets hurt for a penalty.
No,
it's a safety issue.
Any player, I mean, anybody that's taking a blow head on head, I mean, it's just you're trying to protect the player, and that is one of those calls that has been put into the game. And the referees, if you're a Bulldog fan out there that's listening, you might not like it, but it was the right call.
Gilpin follows Jennings on the right side. He picks up a first down. He'll step out of bounds near the 40-yard line. They're going to put it at the 42 of the Bulldogs. Another first down, Pirates.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you get the momentum. It's just that once you get it, you sustain it. And that penalty definitely did help the fortunes of the Pirates. Now that they're over midfield, working their way into the red zone, the clock is still winding down with 12:25 and counting here in the fourth. So I like where they're at right now. Still behind by 3, though, so they have to score.
Jennings to the right of Gilpin. 2 receivers here on the near side of the formation. He'll take the snap, fake to Jennings. Lots of pressure. He'll flip it downfield, intended for Joey Robinson. He gets his fingers on it, but doesn't come down with it there defensively for the Bulldogs. Anthony Jackson, it'll be second down.
Yeah, that's a terrific play by Jackson as he was able to hit the receiver at just the right moment as soon as his hands made contact with the football, so it wasn't pass interference.
Well, and Joey Robinson's a big kid. It's not easy to rattle him even when he's making a catch, so you have to hit him pretty hard, and that was a good play by Jackson. 2nd and 10. Quan Marion back at running back. Gilpin takes the snap. They'll hand to Marion on a counter. He misses the first defender and busts outside. He's going to get wrapped up around the 35 by number 99, Colton Mattis.
I'm telling you, when we go back to the film, the coaches they're going to be really happy with De La Rosa's play on the offensive line. He had that little slight chop block that was able to open up the gap needed for that long run.
3rd and 3 for the Pirate offense here. Ball at the 35. They'll bring Castilleja in motion. Gilpin takes a snap, follows Jennings on the right side, has the edge and the first down near the 30. He goes out of bounds. The Pirates continue to move the ball. Retain possession, 11:32 remaining in the ball game. They trail by 3 as Smash Simmons just pointed out. 14-11 your score. Quan Marion, the running back to the right of Landry Gilpin. 2 receivers here on the wide side of the formation. Gilpin takes the snap, hands to Marion coming to the wide side. He'll cut it up the middle, spin inside the 30 to about the 28, where he's tackled by number 90, Hunter Slimak.
I mean, how good is this for this offense for the Pirates? Not only are they killing much-needed clock that the Bulldogs are going to need later on in this game, but the defense is getting a nice break right here. The only thing that has to happen, regardless if it's a field goal, it has to be points. A field goal ties it, touchdown puts them ahead. Here on Senior Day in Seguin.
Brandon Jennings, the running back, beside Landry Gilpin. Gilpin takes a snap, rolls to his right. Pass is complete over the middle to Ovalle, and he'll get it inside the 10 down to the 5. 1st and goal, Pirates.
The Bulldogs played right into the Pirates' hands as Gilpin got the look that he wanted. They put him on the move. He's always surprisingly more accurate after the spin move. And Landry looking downfield after the spin, found his target with good zip on the delivery, and the receivers step up to make a good catch. Let's see if the Pirates can punch it in the Wildcat from here.
And Marion, the quarterback, takes the snap, and he'll be spun down inside the 3.
And lost his shoe.
By Christian Morrow. It'll be 2nd and goal from about the 2.5.
I'll take that back. It was the offensive lineman who lost his shoe.
That's even worse. A running back tends to be able to put their shoe on more quickly as they're generally more athletic.
Well, the lineman got it on. I believe in our hog mollies.
I do too. They're just not always as athletic. Marion takes the snap, follows Jennings on the right side, and he's in for the score. And the Pirates have their first lead of the ball game here with 9:32 remaining in the game, as they push it out to a 17-14 game with a point after touchdown pending.
And I love the play calling on this last drive. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They stayed with what worked on the last scoring drive, and it works once again here.
Point after attempt coming up. Kerr gets the hold down. The kick is up from Herbst, and it is good, and it is a 4-point game, forcing the Bulldogs to need a touchdown to take the lead back.
Give Coach Austin and his crew a lot of credit, because there was a lot of questions when they decided to settle for that field goal for their opening points of the game after they were scoreless in the first half of play. And, you know, those things don't seem that they will matter in the long run. But in this game, that little field goal at the very beginning paid off big dividends for the Pirates to put them in the lead at this juncture late in the ballgame.
Well, you know, you have a lot of aspects that go into planning a game plan for a football game. You have X's and O's, you have Jimmys and Joes that you're going to put out there for plays, but ultimately game management is a huge aspect of whether or not you're going to come out with a win. That's managing timeouts, managing punts, managing whether or not you go for 3 as opposed to try to go for it on 4th down and get a touchdown. And good job by that coaching staff led by Coach Joe Austin to successfully find themselves from down 2 scores to up by 4. Not 4 scores, but 4 points.
4 scores.
Don't get me doing the Gettysburg Address now. Charlie Fournier to kick. It's a nice one off. It's going to be fielded by number 16. That's Robinson. And he'll get it out of bounds around the 27 as he moved near the Bulldog sideline there. Leading the way, Patrick Nicholas, along with number 30 for the Pirates, Micah Justice.
Yeah, everybody met right there around the kicking net. As we've already seen a couple of players fly into players that were standing on the sidelines near the kicking net here today.
Yes, it gets dangerous out there. You mentioned one of the coach's kids getting taken out. As the sideline reporter a couple of years ago, there were a couple of times that I could have ended up in the hospital just from not paying attention there on the sideline. You really have to be alert.
But why were you okay? It's because you kept your head on a swivel.
That's right, and I got out of the way. As hard as that is to do for my old body. Sotelo, the H-back, carries it for a gain of about 2.5, maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, Sotelo at 6'1", 230, quite a load from Castroville, Texas.
Yeah, McDonald on the stop for the Pirates. He is quite a load, and he's produced a lot for the Bulldog offense here today.
Yeah, the Bulldogs one of those teams that actually runs with their H-back more than just letting him block. Surprised me.
He gets a lot of them. They fake to him, and Cosme is going to go straight ahead behind him, but Bernard Century slips right behind Sotelo and makes the tackle for a minimal gain. In fact, they're going to say he lost a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Gomez there around him, the RGV native, to make that tackle as well. But this Pirates defense, they just need to hold on. The clock keeps on ticking, 8:30 and counting here in the 4th. Pirates have the lead for the first time in this game, 18-14, but this defense needs to continue what they're doing.
Cosme will hand to Willis, and he'll break a tackle, but Alec Gomez and Bernard Century there to prevent much more of a gain, and really none in terms of yardage gain there. It's 4th down, and the defense shows up big again. And I was going to mention Gomez on that play and the play before. He was one of our interviews from SU Football Weekly earlier this week because he played so well last week defensively, and he continues that here today. Coming out to kick on the punt will be Cameron Welch, back deep to receive that, Austin Castilleja.
It'll be interesting to see if it's a true kick. He fumbled it.
Fumbled the snap, looking to get a kick off, and he is able to get one off. Castilleja with an over-the-shoulder fair catch signal, almost like a pass. That ball was spiraling off of the foot of Welch, and really the Bulldogs dodged a bullet there, and the Pirates miss an opportunity just from an unfortunate bounce.
That was breathtaking by Welch. I've seen some miraculous plays by punters in my lifetime, but to get such an accurate punt with the defense right in his face after a bobble, and then to go into a slight run and then get it away?
Well, that kind of is what happened earlier with Gilpin when it looked like he was going to take off. He frees a linebacker. You're able to hit the receiver. The same kind of deal, but he was able to get the punt off here. Gilpin takes the snap. Tysigwe gets the handoff, and he'll spin his way for a gain of about 4 near the 30.
But if you're the Pirates, you'll definitely take that. Keeps on making the clock tick down.
That's right. Right now you have the lead. You're not behind. You're not playing to get the lead. You're just playing to maintain it and add to it, hopefully.
And if you're the offense, you're getting exactly what you want. 4 yards per carry, more or less, here in the second half of play. And that's going to bode well for your chances to win.
Tysigwe remains the running back beside Gilpin. 2 receivers on the wide side of the formation. Gilpin takes the snap and will hand to Tysigwe, and he's in the open field and gets over the 40 to the 44 before he's cut down by number 15, Dimitri Zavala. But it's another first down, Pirates, as they continue to retain possession of the football.
Yeah, and they're in no rush. You look at these rushing averages so far, 5.4 yards per game for Jaquan Marion, 5.1 for Gilpin, and then Gianni Tesigwe, he's averaging about 8.5 yards per carry right now.
He'll remain the running back. 2 receivers on the wide side of the formation. On the near side, we got Dugan Sexton. Gilpin takes the snap, hands to Tesigwe, and he'll get spun down after a minimal gain by number 59 of the Bulldogs, and that is Zach Anderson.
But you think about it, we've only ran 3 plays.
We got a timeout on the field.
Yeah, we have a player down for the Pirates, and that's one of the offensive linemen.
Yeah, that's not good. Hopefully it's one of those cramp situations. You know, it was cold last night, but it's pretty toasty warm today unless you're in the shade.
Well, he also might have possibly gotten stepped on. There's a lot that happens inside the trenches, so to speak, where, you know, sometimes people get pushed down, they fall on top of you when you're not expecting it. Sometimes people step on you when you're not expecting it.
It looks like he's able to put pretty good pressure on it, though, as he moves off the field under his own power, and that is number 60 for the Pirates, doing okay, Anderson Johnson.
Yeah, he had a big game last week. He was pretty key on a lot of those pulls on their counter plays. And that's something that the Pirates have had some great success with here this afternoon, is those trap counters.
6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the ball game. Clock just now wound, and so it's moving. Tesigwe, the running back, beside Gilpin. There's the snap. Gilpin will hand to Tesigwe going to the right side of the field. He'll cut up the 45 and get wrapped up around midfield. They're going to mark him at the Pirate 49, just shy of the midfield stripe.
Yeah, we have a TLU player that's getting up, but he's slow to get to his feet.
About 4.5 or 5 yards for a first down here on third down for the Pirates. And there will be another official's timeout here to attend to the Bulldog player who also may have been stepped on, or it's easy for us to diagnose from up here. You just hope for the best. It's a rough sport, the sport of football. A lot of injuries can occur in really odd situations. I've separated or disjointed my finger in a helmet before. It's not a very fun thing to do, to pull your hand out of a pile of people and have your pinky pointing to the left when it should be pointing straight,
Oh, definitely understand. And that's why pliability is so important to this sport, to be flexible, because you're going to get flung in all such directions, and sometimes one half of the body doesn't go in the other half of the body. But this is good sportsmanship shown by the fans that did visit from Southwestern, the first with that big applause.
Pretty good contingent as usual from the Pirates. Traveled very well.
I mean, we've had a really good crowd on hand for what has been one of the more beautiful Saturday college football afternoons this season.
Well, that's Robert Ramirez III coming off the field for the Bulldogs. They'll replace him with Niall Pollard, senior defensive back. Pirates line up in a pistol formation with Tesigwe just to the right of Gilpin. Gilpin takes the snap, drops back, rolls to his right, looking downfield. Pass is complete to Dugan Sexton. He breaks over the 30, and he'll get spun down inside the 30 around the 26 for a Pirate first down.
And that's his first completion of the game to Sexton, and Sexton making a huge catch and run after the catch to put the Pirates in a really great position here to now where they can really just slow down this ball game.
Well, Sexton came on as the year wore on, started getting more playing time, the freshman out of Frisco, Texas, and he's very sure-handed. Tesigwe to the right of Gilpin. They'll fake to him. Gilpin keeps, heads straight up field and spins down near the 20. They'll give him a gain of about 6 yards to the 21.
Do you remember the movie Days of Thunder?
Yes.
Do you remember,
car racing movie?
Yeah, remember how Cole Trickle, the character that kind of Tom Cruise is playing, right? He's like, you have to get me out there in front of this pace car or the race is over. Right now, that's what the Bulldogs have to be thinking. They have to get a stop here on this offensive series for the Pirates or this game is over. A touchdown puts this game away.
It sure does. It makes it tough to come back, even with the ability to throw. But the Pirates have put plenty of pressure on Cosme today. They'll send Tesigwe in motion, option look. Gilpin carries straight ahead instead. and he'll pick up the first down near the 15. They're going to mark him at the 16.
You have to remember the Bulldogs are coming off of 2 back-to-back wins into this contest.
Yeah, they were looking to string a third together, but the Pirates are looking to play spoiler here with 4:06 and counting in the fourth quarter. Taking their time in the huddle. I don't see a play clock. There it is, 17 seconds remaining on the play clock.
I don't know about you, but I would love to see the Pirates one last time in Georgetown trying to go and end the season on a 3-game winning streak.
That would be nice. Gilpin with Ty Sigway. They'll hand to Ty Sigway. He follows his blocker, gets the edge, and cuts up near the – he's going to get out of bounds around the 13, so a gain of about 4, second down and 6.
You know, if you're the Pirates, I know nobody wants to get into the red zone and not score, but you don't have to score.
Right.
You can just turn over the ball here deep in your own territory and kill enough clock to where there's little to no time left for the Bulldogs to make a big play.
But you add 3 and you put yourself up a touchdown.
That would be nice.
Ty Sigway just to the left of Gilpin. Gilpin takes the snap, fakes to Ty Sigway, moves back to the left, and will slide down right at the line of scrimmage. He didn't want to take an unnecessary hit as a couple of defenders were there. Big number 94, Joshua Stanton, hoping to deliver a blow to the Pirate quarterback, but he took that away from him.
Well, that was actually way more intelligent than just that for Gilpin. Not only did he slide down and avoid the contact, he slid down inbound, so that kept the clock ticking here on this 3rd and 8.
Yeah, very intelligent play. He did lose a yard on the play. Ty Sigway, the running back, 2 receivers on the wide side of the formation. Costilleja here on the near side. They'll fake to Ty Sigway down the middle of the field, intended for Joey Robinson, but his route was cut off by the defender. No flag comes out. That's number 24 there defensively, Niall Pollard. And it'll bring up a 4th down and 7, and they'll bring out Will Herbst to see if he can extend this to a full touchdown lead for the Pirates. It's a big kick here for the senior.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a chip shot, but in this situation, you never know.
A lot of pressure.
And the Bulldogs are going to be playing spirited here in their final home game.
There's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it's wide right. He did miss it. The score will remain 18-14, and the ball will go over on downs with 2 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the game to the Texas Lutheran University Bulldogs.
That's why I was going to say I was surprised that they took a shot at the end zone on 3rd down and ended up stopping the clock because of the incomplete pass. But more importantly, going for this field goal right now, because you could have still ran that extra play, killed some more clock, and possibly put the ball deeper to force a longer field. But now it's going to be up to this defense that has been sure-handed since those first 2 opening possessions to come up big for the Pirates.
Cosme takes the snap, hands to Fortin, and he'll pick up about 4 or 5 yards off a right tackle, tackled by Blaine Corkin.
The Bulldogs have 2 timeouts left. The Pirates have all 3 remaining.
Won't be using them at the moment. Cosme takes the snap, flips it out, complete to Sotelo. Ball's on the ground. There's a scrum. Pirates act like they have it, and they do. I didn't see because there were too many TLU players there, but there's a lot of celebration going on between Malik McDonald and number 94 for the Pirates, Jason Lund. And so you got to feel like they were involved in that.
That's what I'm talking about, man. With the swag, swashbuckling Pirates come in. We told you that the defense had to make a big play after the special teams was unable to convert that field goal opportunity, and we get exactly that. We haven't had any turnovers in this game caused by the defense, and when they do come up with one, it comes up at the most pivotal moment of the game.
And with 2:09 remaining in the ball game, the Pirates look to just burn clock, and if you get points, great. If not, you just got to tick off 2:09 off that clock. Gilpin, tough snap. He's able to get the handoff to Marion and lowers his shoulder and picks up about 3 yards, wrangled down by number 25, Abdullah. And the Bulldogs will burn a timeout. That was a gain of only 2. Looked like a little more from this angle, but it's going to be 2nd and 8 after the timeout.
And the clock stops at 2:04 at that timeout. The Bulldogs have 1 timeout remaining. And if you're the Pirates,
all you need is 1 first down here.
it's not even about the first down at this point.
I know, but if you get 1 more first down, you never turn the ball back over.
I see what you're saying, but, I mean, you should be able to kill enough time between now and then with only 1 timeout left to even get to that point if you're the Pirates. You can just work super meticulous here towards the end. Don't take any unnecessary chances at this point in the game.
Oh, yeah,
They
they
don't
need
have
to
to be
stay
had.
on the ground and protect the football. Obviously, I asked Coach Austin in one of the recent SU Football Weekly shows. It was this Monday because, there were some turnovers last week in the victory over Austin College that didn't get turned over. They fumbled the ball or able to recover it. And I asked him, did you talk to him at halftime about that? He goes, no, that's implied. That is a constant. Any of our skill position players, we drill that into them constantly. 2nd down and 8 for the Pirates. Marion, the running back, to the right side of Gilpin. Gilpin takes the snap, fakes to Marion, runs to the wide side. He's got defenders chasing him. He's just going to sit down after burning a few seconds at the 29-yard line. So there's a loss on the play. Clock will stop at 1:57.
This might not have been the most mind-bending performance that we have seen from Landry Gilpin because that Landry magic has come out in spurts, but it hasn't been dependent on him as much as it has been in the past games for the offense for the Pirates. But his intelligence and awareness in this game has been through the roof. I'm talking about the little intangibles, getting rid of the football and not taking a sack, throwing the football away, not forcing a bad pass in an impromptu situation, that second interception coming at the very end.
Sliding instead of trying to run over guys.
And right now, taking, I guess what you would say is
a
sack.
seat.
Yeah, but smartly going down in play so to let the clock continue to try to tick down, and in this case, forcing the Bulldogs to use their last timeout. We're sitting at 1:57, and the Pirates have the lead by 4. All they have to do is just try to move the chain one last time.
Right. They can get about half of this off the clock just on the next 2 plays. Pistol formation, 2 receivers here on the near side, 1 on the far side, short side of the formation. Gilpin takes the snap. They'll hand to Marion going the other way. Marion gets over the line of scrimmage, and he'll get wrapped up after a gain of about 1. 4th down and 14. And do you bring Will Herbst out to attempt it again?
No. You just try to take your shot, keep the ball on the ground, see if you can take up enough time before you snap this ball to whittle down the clock as much as possible. In fact, you might let it go all the way until it gets to 0 and take a timeout of your own.
You have the timeouts, right. There's 18 seconds on the play clock, 1:26 on the game clock, so there'll be about 1:08.
And the Bulldogs have no timeouts. So I'm assuming that's what we're seeing right now as the play clock is down to 5.
Pirates are going to burn it down to a second on the play clock and then call timeout, wisely managing the remainder of this football game clock. And they'll take a timeout on the side. And I'll mention for the final time tonight, or this afternoon, the sponsors for the Southwestern University Pirates. They include Antioch Georgetown, Chapel Realty Group with Roger Chapel, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Groove Line Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions with Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners with Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. Thank you, corporate sponsors. Brandon Jennings, the senior. Southwestern will call a second timeout.
Yeah, they were just trying to see what the look was going to be given
A
defensively.
basketball play, you call a timeout, and everybody comes out from the timeout, and then you call another one. And so you call a second play.
I know it doesn't seem like that big of a play right now, but it is important. You want to make sure you get this right, though, because if you are able to get a first down, you end this game. ultimately you want to be able
But
to.
you don't want to risk turning it over to do that.
Exactly. You don't want to have to throw it, but additionally, you want to see if you can push this ball within the 20. Even if you get tackled before the first down, you're forcing them to get that extra 10 yards that they would need if they do happen to break away a big play. Because they've shown that they can do it.
Gilpin looking over the defense, takes the snap, spins. He's going to run around and burn some clock. He gets to the outside, flips it downfield, almost completed to Ethan Powell. He would not have had enough for the first down as long as the tackle was made by the defender. But the clock burns down to 1:02 and goes over on downs to the Bulldogs. So they have no timeouts, just over 1 minute to score a touchdown. They have the ball on their own 29-yard line.
Well, you got Landry out of the pocket, exactly what you would want. But now it's dire straits time for the Bulldogs on senior day with only 62 seconds left.
Fortin, the running back, beside Cosme, the quarterback.
And
2 receivers here on the near side, 2 on the far side.
And remember, the Bulldogs have no timeouts.
Cosme takes the snap, looking down. His pass is flipped out. It's going to be caught by Sotelo. After a gain of about 4, he's tackled.
But he's tackled
Clock
inbounds.
still moving at 52 seconds. Cosme takes the snap, drops back. Pass is complete for a first down to number 11, Roland Bland. The clock will stop to move the chains at 39 seconds upon the referee winding it, and he winds it. Fortin, the running back, next to Cosme. Cosme takes the snap, drops straight back, looks over the middle. Pass is complete to Sotelo down to the 35. Clock will stop to reset the chains. There on the stop, number 8 for the Pirates, Jay Hanneth.
If you're the Pirates, it's okay to call timeout.
Pressure on the quarterback, Cosme. His pass delivered and incomplete. Good coverage there by Eli Norris off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Roland Bland. Clock stops at 23 seconds.
This is getting way too close for comfort. I'm surprised that the Pirates allowed the bleeding to continue instead of trying to disrupt the momentum, but they'll have to live with it.
2nd and 10 here for the Bulldogs. Cosme gets the snap, drops back, runs up in the pocket, looking downfield, being pressured. Pass is completed to Marcus Ross on the tackle. That's number 18 on the reception, Trent Stefke, and it is another first down. We have an injured player down.
And it looks like it's Century for the Pirates, and that's not good, especially here towards the end. You want your best defensive player available.
Yeah, he's getting up though, but something occurred because he's definitely slow about it. So there was a penalty. The quarterback crossed the line of scrimmage before Cosme had crossed the line of scrimmage before he delivered that pass. So it'll be 2nd down and 15 instead of 1st and 10.
It's a loss of down.
So it'll be 3rd down.
There you go. But obviously, that doesn't matter right now. They have 16 seconds. They need to get a touchdown.
You'd still like 3 chances if you had them, but 16 seconds, it's hard to get 3 plays into 16 seconds.
The one thing is that now they're in more difficult territory than they were just moments ago after that pass was originally ruled a completion.
Coming into the game for Century is Matthew Brulleth out of Edinburgh.
And the officials are still talking things over amongst each other. But, I mean, this defense, they haven't answered the call all game long. So much has been asked about this Pirates defense all season.
Oh, there's another 10 seconds run off because of the completion. So they dig deep into the rule book.
Because it's an offensive penalty.
So 16 seconds remain on the clock.
You know, the Bulldogs are at home. It's on senior day.
3rd and 12.
Pirates are electing to let their corners on islands.
Cosme takes the snap, drops straight back. He's got pressure, rolls out to the right. Pass is complete on the sideline. Now they're going to say he's out of bounds. That stops the clock with 11 seconds, and it is 4th down and 12. Last play for this Bulldog offense unless they can somehow get 12 yards on it and keep the drive alive. Only 11 seconds on the game clock.
Well, if you're the Pirates defense, you're obviously thinking play prevent. If you can get a rush, great, but you don't want to allow a big completion downfield.
Cosme drops back, has pressure, has to step up in the pocket, and Noah Clarkson almost has him. Cosme scrambles out, and they get him. Ball's on the ground, scooped up by Bernard Century. He's at midfield. He's at the 40. They're not going to catch him. 30, 20. Moments ago, he's hurt. Now he scores a touchdown, Pirates. As time expires, the Pirates win.
What a way to finish this game.
24-14.
All the drama you can ask for at the very end. The Bulldogs looked like they were going to pull off the impossible. The comeback on senior day here in their final home game, only to give up the most monumentous play at the very end. You want to talk about daggers? There were multiple ones on that very last play.
Well, and you have to, you just have to say that that's a reward for the performance of that defense really all day beyond those first couple of drives where they gave up the 14 points that Texas Lutheran has on the scoreboard. And so the Pirates, with their second win in as many weeks, starting to pick it up here as the season winds down. They have Sul Ross State next week, last game of the year. And, you know, you mentioned it earlier, maybe they can string three together and start winning early next season. It'll be, you know, first game win. It'll be a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of these players looking to come back, and that would be a great experience for them to finish it off on a positive note. But, I mean, you have to win games like this to get over the hump, so to speak. And this was a huge win because that defense, they pitched a shutout after letting those two scores up, but they were starting to bend here towards the very end. It's kind of like when metal gets heat up and it starts to kind of loosen, and things were getting tense, but they held firm at the very end. Granted, a little luck did go the Pirates' way. That's something that they were able to take advantage of once again for the second consecutive week. But what a play at the end from Century to get a well-deserved touchdown, and for this Pirates squad to get this win here on the road against what was a tenacious crowd looking for their third straight win here on senior day here at Bulldog Stadium.
Yeah, and it was a hard-fought victory for the Pirates, and great effort by the home team, the Texas Lutheran University Bulldogs. We will stick around here for a few minutes. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and hopefully Coach Austin will bring a couple of players up that we can talk to about the game here in moments. So for Mickey Holden and Justin Simmons, I'm Chuck Cracy here on SHN Sports. We're going to rotate the sponsors, but stay with us as Coach Austin returns. We will speak to him shortly. Here we are with Coach Joe Austin after the victory over the Texas Lutheran University Bulldogs. Coach, how do you feel about getting the second in a row?
Well, that was awesome. At halftime, all I said to him was, does anyone doubt that we're going to come back? And, no one did, and I believe him, obviously. Because other than the first 7 minutes, we were the better team most of the day. We didn't score in the first half, but we moved the football. And then, we had a couple – we let our man go is what happened. Mm-hmm. 2 touchdowns. We didn't cover our man. We got that figured out, and we really dominated them the rest of the day.
Well, and we talked about it on the broadcast, Justin and I. The defense really showed up after those initial 2 scoring drives for the Bulldogs. Additionally, they got rewarded there at the very end of the play as the Bulldogs tried to put together some kind of score late, and we got an additional defensive score from one of your senior leaders. Talk about that a little bit.
I told him at halftime a defensive score is going to happen, and it's going to be important. And it was, right? It sealed the game, made it a 2-score game there, so that was cool.
So do you have any final thoughts before we head into Sul Ross?
Great defensive game. It was a battle for our offense. Our offensive line got outplayed in the first half, and then we came out and we dominated them. Our offensive line had an unbelievable second half, so kudos to those guys. We responded, and we didn't doubt ourselves. So things we can fix, and it'll be fun to talk about more on Monday.
Well, and it was a pretty rowdy environment. It was senior day here at Texas Lutheran, and they had a pretty good crowd. Of course, the Pirates travel pretty well fan-wise, and so we had a pretty good crowd as well.
Right.
But very lively football game, Coach, and I want to congratulate you on the victory.
Got the players outside. Yeah, we'll get them.
Okay, we'll send them in one at a time.
Can you ask one question for me?
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, I was curious. Who came up with the play call to go into the Wildcat towards the end there? Because, that was some really good change that really disrupted the momentum of that defense that the Bulldogs had for them.
So let me for the stream, Justin just asked off camera.
You can send one in, Mickey.
Whose decision was it to adjust and take Gilpin, put him in a slot, and put Quan Marion at quarterback with Brandon Jennings as a lead blocker?
Well, we talked about in our offensive meeting. I can't remember exactly who it was. It was me or Coach Mask or Coach Ross, but you're right. It was a good decision.
Oh yeah.
So it worked well. But one of the things I told them, and we practiced our red zone offense an extra time this week. And Quan's really good, so I wanted to increase the number of touches we could get for Quan, and by putting him at Wildcat, we were able to do that. And here's the guy that led the way for him quite a bit of the day, man. What an unselfish dude here. So
yeah,
Brandon Jennings, take it away, buddy.
All right, let's go. Come on, Brandon. It's been a little while since we talked. You were on SU Football Weekly, at the beginning of the year. Talk about that Wildcat formation. That's what we were just talking to Coach about briefly. Give us your thoughts on that. You move Gilpin over to a slot. You confuse the defense. You got Quan playing quarterback. You playing the running back, and basically just blowing up the hole so that Quan can cut off that block.
Yeah, first of all, it worked. We scored
on
it with 2 times. We installed it this week, and I told Quan, just get behind me, and I'm gonna lead you to the promised land. So it worked out.
Well, and in the first half, the offense had a little bit of a problem putting it into the end zone. They were able to move the ball up and down the field for the first half, but you really came on strong in the second half. Give us your thoughts on how the offense gelled there towards the end of the game.
Really just started at halftime. Just tried to keep everyone positive. We were down, but couldn't let it affect us. So just tried to keep everyone positive. And Coach came out. We started running the ball and giving some different looks, and we scored.
Yeah, pretty awesome game. We'll talk about the very last play here with the next guy. It's good to see you again, Brandy.
Yes, sir.
Have a fun ride home, and we'll see you next Saturday against Sul Ross.
Yes, sir.
Let's get a 3rd win in a row, all right?
That would be awesome. Thank you.
And so next we have Bernard Century. And Bernard, you're just now getting your headset on, but just moments before that final play, and you had a good ball game all game long, but I want to focus on that last play because it was super exciting. You're up 4. The Bulldogs have moved into our end of the field, and so really, one deep pass, an interference call, a tip drill, something like that, and you could lose this game. Great pressure. The quarterback loses the football. Take us through that play.
So even before the play started, defense talking about this is familiar territory for us. Same thing against Howard Payne. We came in the last drive. We had a chance to seal it out, but we didn't do the job. So this week we decided to step up and take care of the job. Take care of business at the end of the day. That final play. Coach Kriesel. Obviously, it's their only chance to score at that point. So great blitz call by Coach Kriesel. We were all just dogs running the ball. I was coming from the weak side, and then my linebackers, Blaine, Alec, were coming from the strong side. They were all riding to the ball, and, it was just kind of a crazy play. Everyone's really frantic at that moment in time in the game, of course.
Yeah, it was desperate.
It was. And so, I'm honest, I was running for the ball. I think Blaine knocked out of the quarterback's hand. I think that was the case. But, man, I saw that ball, and I just saw gold, and I took it to the crib.
And one of the things that I was impressed with, and I'm not to say that you're not a fleet of foot kind of player, because linebackers are pretty quick. But, man, you can sprint that ball, man. You had guys right on your tail, skill guys trying to run you down. They couldn't make up any ground.
Man, I came back to the sideline after the whole dog pile and whatnot, and everyone's like, hey, you almost got hawked, man. I was like, I tried to run as fast. I saw their shadow. Trust me,
Yeah,
I
but
did.
if there was another 20 yards, they might have caught you.
Most
But
definitely.
it was a great effort. Before we let you go, talk about the defensive performance. You came out here today. Y'all gave up 2 quick scores to a really excited home team on Senior Day. And, for some fans, it could have looked like, oh, no, it's not going to be a good day for the Pirates. But y'all stood strong through the second half of the first quarter, the second quarter, and the entire second half. You didn't give up any more points. Give us your thoughts on your defensive performance tonight as a group.
I want to shout out the offense first and foremost. They were doing a great job keeping us in the game for sure. They were making some pretty consistent drives, especially as the game went on.
Getting your rest.
Yes, giving us all the rest, giving us time to get coached up by Coach Jones, Coach Kelly, Coach Creasel. Everyone who was on the sideline helped us out. So it really gave us time to kind of settle down, and just get the butterflies out of our stomach or whatnot. And then once the game started rolling, man, we were just playing like we usually do. That's all it is. And it's unfortunate that the first drive of most games we get scored on. Actually, this year it was every single first drive we've gotten scored on. But, I just love to see when everyone comes together, offense and defense, and we're able to make plays on both sides of the ball and show everyone how good of a team we are.
Well, as individual units, the teams are starting to gel, the offensive unit, the defensive unit, the special teams unit. But as a whole, it's really evident that you guys are starting to put it together here late in the season. And so get a win on Saturday against Sul Ross State. That'll be 3 in a row, and we'll carry a 3-game winning streak into next season, all right?
I'm ready for it.
We'll see you next time, Bernard.
Thank you.
Sure. Real quick. Okay. For social media.
Oh, definitely. I'm the short window.
Thank you, Bernard.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, thank you for listening to Pirate Football here on SHN Sports. We really had a good outing. It was a lot of fun. It's not bad when you only have to drive about an hour and a half. It's a lot better than driving 4 hours. But ultimately, what makes it fun is when the Pirates perform. And, Justin, do you want to come here on camera and have any closing thoughts for the game before we close the broadcast?
Oh, no, definitely. Terrific gameplay by the Pirates. Obviously, you already heard the stories. Down behind early, everybody kind of just buckled down, played their best football for the rest of the 3 quarters that remain, and they got the job done against a crowd that was very tough to work against here on Senior Day. Hats off to the coaching staff and to all the players. Everybody hit the right notes here, and they have a really good chance of ending the season on a 3-game winning streak next week at home, and I'm looking forward to seeing it right back here on SHN Sports.
Most definitely. Want to shout out Texas Lutheran University and their kindness as they hosted us to do the broadcast here in their press box. They brought us lunch and everything. A very kind crew here at Texas Lutheran. We wish them luck going forward, and tune in on Monday for SU Football Weekly, presented by the Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center. And then next week we'll end the season at home at Birkelbach against Sul Ross State. So make sure you come out for that ball game. If you can't, you're out of state or whatever, make sure you tune in. For Justin Simmons, Mickey Holden, I'm Chuck Cracy. Thank you for listening to Pirate Football here on SHN Sports. We'll